Big build-up here at Marvel Stadium for the final game of round 18, where the Bombers will be taking on the Gold Coast Suns. For the Bombers, well, it's been a big month of footy where they've had victories over the Saints, the Swans and the Lions, so they're coming in full of confidence. But they take on a Gold Coast outfit that's only one game out of the top 8, and they've come off one of their most famous victories last week with a goal after the siren to Noah Anderson to get over from the Tigers. So it's going to be a cracking game here this afternoon. Tim Solly hosting the action this afternoon and calling here. This is the Triple M footy preview for TaylorMade Golf, with all the new Stealth driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness. Time to sweep the room. It's a star-studded outfit, if I don't mind. We might start with the back row here. This is where the real stars sit here this afternoon. And we'll start with the experienced head, the man that's a Victorian state representative. He played for my mighty Saints, and he loves the big waves down on the coast as well. Mickey Roberts, welcome to you.
It's cold down there at the moment. It's good sitting in this warm box, I tell you. But there's confidence in the coach now at Stewie Dew. So they've turned their whole football world around from round 7. They were 2-5. And he's had a nice little extension with the contract. But they've got to watch 2-metre Peter. I've seen him a couple of times too. So shooting out, the big shooters, they've got a great forward line Gold Coast, but get ready for the Bombers as well.
This is the Triple M footy preview for TaylorMade Golf with all new Stealth driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness. Sitting next to Mickey Roberts this afternoon, one of the smoothest operators in the AFL. It's been a long journey back and we're going to explore it, but he made his long-awaited return on Friday night for the Dogs, and it was good to see him back out there. Joshy Bruce, welcome to you.
Timmy, thanks for having me, mate. Yeah, it was good to have the return on Friday, mate.
Yeah, it went well. How's the body pulled up?
Yeah, it went well. Pulled up pretty good. I was obviously very, very rusty. I was running around like a headless chook just trying to get the footy, and I only managed a couple of touches, but you couldn't wipe the smile off my face. I was very grateful to be back out there and to enjoy the feeling of the crowd and have the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, mate. It's very special. It was a long time out of the game.
Yeah, I bet, mate. That's a fantastic story. Great to see you back out in the park. And joining me calling the action this afternoon, he's had to wait since round 4. He's one of the stars of the Marty Sheargold show during the week. Good to have you here, Willie Ralston.
Thank you, Timmy. Yeah, looking forward to this one. I think the Suns being slight favourites is about right, but they don't have a very good record against the Bombers. They're 2 from 11, so a bit of a bogey side, and they have not beaten the Bombers at this venue in 4 attempts. So it's going to be an interesting game. The Suns fighting for a place to keep their season alive. Bombers in good form, as you said.
Looking forward to hearing you crack in today too, mate. Can't wait to hear you call the action again. We might head down the boundary and catch up with one of our favourites down there. She covers it all at Boundary Side. For Bob Jane T-Marts, buy 3, get 1 free and instant cashback on Bridgestone, Goodyear, Yokohama, Michelin, Dunlop and many more. bobjane.com.au. Nat Unides, welcome to you.
Thanks, Tim. Well, a huge day for the Gold Coast Suns, a big opportunity to make their claim for a spot in the top 8, and I'm joined by assistant coach Josh Drummond. Josh, a big week for the boys coming off that game against Richmond. Must be full of confidence.
Yeah, it's amazing what a couple of points does when it ends up on your end of the page than the opposition. So we've had a lot of close games, 3 in a row in the last month. So great to get one on our side of the ledger, but for us, we've reviewed the games really consistently and looking at what we're doing well and some growth areas, so nothing much change in how we reviewed it. Obviously, they do feel a bit better after a win.
Do you have to try and reel in somebody like Noah Anderson? Does he have to come back down from the clouds after a pretty whirlwind week?
Short answer, no. He's about as down-to-earth, driven, young professional that I've seen in my time in the game, so obviously a great moment for him. Great that he was able to produce in probably one of the hardest moments anyone will face in footy. But come Monday, Tuesday, he's ready to go, and he just wants to go out and do it again today and produce for the team.
Josh, you're obviously in control with the defensive stocks back there. Obviously missing Will Power, but it looks like Jack Bowes is just elevating his game at the moment.
Yeah, he's been important for us. He was obviously back last year, Bowesy, and then heading into the pre-season, we looked at him sort of back and through the midfield because we know he can play in multiple positions. But he did his shoulder right on the eve of the season. So coming in sort of in the second half of the season, obviously we missed. Yeah, obviously Butters has gone down, and Lockie Weller and Will Powell also. So it's great to have someone like him who's there ready to go, and he's been important for us. He's really smart and he's composed with ball in hand, and we need all those things today.
Josh, the 2 talls, and you can even throw a third one in there if you like, but I just love the mix. You've got so many options inside 50, and they're all clever as well, and they're busting to score. It must be thrilling to be a midfielder, to be running in and having so many options just to lift your eyes.
It is, yeah. I reckon they're quickly developing into one of the most watchable forward lines in the comp. But I think we've obviously played a bit more of a territory game this year and got the ball in, haven't mucked around as much, and just basically it's just to give those guys a chance one-on-one. And we feel whether it's in the air, obviously Casbolt and Day and Chol give us a great target and are rarely outmarked, so they're either marked it or hits the ground. Then it's Rankin and Ainsworth and Holman and Roses Jr. in there as well. So we feel we're well balanced there, and it's been a big improvement in our game. It's something we feel like there's still heaps of growth as well.
And Rankin's the showman. He's the one, and he's back, and you can't wait to watch him as well.
Yeah, he's a pleasure to watch. I'm up the other end of the ground, but I do, when I watch the game back, I do feel for the other defenders, opposition's defenders who are playing on him, because he's just in a rich vein of form. Obviously, he's highly rated and touted when he first came in, but like all young players, he had his ups and downs. But this year, it's really clicked, and I think he's got some great support around him from a coaching and playing point of view, and it's allowing him to play to his strengths.
Josh, it's Josh Bruce here, mate. Tell us more about Stephen King and his impact on the club, and he's obviously in the box with you as the midfield coach. What kind of experience has he brought to the club?
Oh, he's been great, Bruce. Obviously, you had a bit to do with him. He's just got a great knowledge on the game, and he's got a great balance, I think, with understanding the game, being holding our boys accountable to what's important and the way we want to play, but also just having a bit of fun with it as well, and not taking things too seriously at the right time. He's been a great support for Dewey, I think, as that senior assistant, having someone who's been around, who's importantly been at a really good club recently in the Doggies, and knows what they're all about. So I think he's been great for us as a coaching group and helping us gel and supporting Dewey, but also for the players. We've got a group of midfielders there now, in Witts, Rowell, Anderson, Miller, Swallow, who are building some really good synergy, and Kingy's doing a great job gelling those boys.
And Josh, from an Essendon perspective, Peter Wright, 5 goals last week, best on ground against Brisbane. He's kicked 15 in his last 4. He's the focal point for the Bombers. What sort of plan do you have for him under the lid today?
Probably starts with limiting supply. Would be good. Colo and the boys down back would appreciate that. I think for every defence, it starts with limiting supply and then the quality of entries that the opposition can have. So we'll no doubt we've gone to work on how we can try and stifle that, and but also for us as a backs group, and for Colo, who'll likely have that matchup. He'll have a plan to try and take away Pete's strengths, but he's had a really, really good year. He's been really important for them, so we're under no illusions to the job at hand to try and stop Pete and the rest of their forwards for that matter.
Josh, really appreciate your time today. Good luck this afternoon in what will be Stewie Dew's 100th game as Sun senior coach. Yeah, we appreciate your time.
Great. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Incredible access there, boys, to Josh Drummond. Of course, tell us a little bit, Willie, you're obviously a big Lions man. He was a good player in his own right, but he just had a few injuries along the way.
Oh, the whole journey plagued by injuries, unfortunately, for Josh. 94 games, and he was just about the best left foot kick I think that the club has seen.
Across the half-back, was he, Will?
Yeah, he was. In the Daniel Rich conversation. Good long goal kicker as well, so very classy player in his own right, Josh Drummond.
And now leading the back line there at the Gold Coast Suns. We've got a few minutes before the break here, before we go and dissect this game. Brucey, I just want to touch on your comeback, mate. It's obviously a long road back when someone does a knee, and I'd love to get a bit of insight here. It's not often we get insight from players, current players in the box. We've got a lot of ex-players here, but I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey, mate. It's obviously a long road when you do an ACL. Just talk us through the initial moment when you found out, and then from there, the journey back to playing on Friday night.
Gee, how long you got, mate?
We've got time here, Brucey. We've got time here.
Well, I'm just currently looking at the pocket that it happened over in, and it was against the Bombers over there in the far pocket. 10 seconds to go, around 21, and then obviously missed out on the final series and the grand final, which was I realised I did it straight away because it just went bang. And it just was agonising, and then the pain went away. As soon as the pain went away, that's when I knew I was in real trouble. And I was walking down the race down there, and my knee sort of buckled underneath me. And they do it's a pretty obvious test when they pull, when you see them on the boundary line, they kind of pull your shin out towards you, and if that moves, then there's no ACL there. So it just went bang, and it was pretty harrowing down in the rooms. There was no one there because of COVID. There was no crowd here, so it was pretty rough. And then we were in lockdown, so I had surgery and in lockdown, so, pretty isolated. And then obviously the boys went to Tassie, they went to Brisbane, they went to Perth, so I missed all of that. That was pretty difficult times as well. And the rehab journey itself has been challenging as well. I initially had a lot of bone bruising in my knee from surgery and from previous surgery, so it was really hard to get going, especially to run. And it felt like every time I took a step forward, I'd take 2 steps back. So I popped a hammy in January. I needed a second surgery just as I was about to come back and play because I had a big cyst in my tibia. And then I did another hammy after the comeback game in the VFL. So it's been challenging. It's certainly been one of the best learning experiences in my life. But, there's been a lot of positives out of it. I've been able to spend a lot of time with my family, with my young fella. A lot of time at home, which has just been super special. It's time that I'll probably never get back, which is great. I've developed a passion for coaching and coached the AFLW girls. So there's a lot of positives to come out of it, but it's certainly one of the most challenging things I've been through.
When you hear from players that have had these long-term injuries, particularly ACLs, they talk about the loneliness aspect of being around the club and you're not able to participate in the main training sessions and things like that. How has that sort of part of it been for you? Not necessarily the rehab side, but just not being able to be with the boys.
Yeah, well, I'm such a social person and I love that kind of side of it. So, that isolation factor is a big thing. But I was really lucky, in a sense. It's obviously devastating, but Toby McLean did his knee for a second time, like 3 weeks before I did mine. So I had a buddy. So I had an ACL buddy, and we were essentially going through the same thing together. And that just brings you so close. So without having him in my back pocket, it would have been even more challenging. But it is tough. You're in there, buddy, on a bike, and you're in pain every day, and all the guys are running. You just miss running out. You just miss kicking the footy pain free. You miss just going for a jog, just the little things in life. So, learn a lot.
I share your pain. I did one in the 80s, and it's a lonely life. You feel an outsider. But it surprises me now with the modern medicine, the changing of actually the operation, but it still takes 11 months to get back into the caper. That's something that they have, and it's got a knit. The graft's got a knit. You've got to be secure with the whole thing. Have you found that?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we had all those the fads that came in with the Lars surgery and guys coming back early in 3 months, but the graft failure rate was just through the roof. So there's a perfect time frame of around 9 months. As soon as you get to that 9-month period, and the graft actually it changes from the hamstring tendon, and your body actually turns it into like a ligament, essentially. So It's pretty incredible what the human body can do and what the surgeons are doing these days. But once you get to that period, the risk factor of a re-rupture drops significantly. So, and then every month after that, it drops again and again and again towards 12 months.
And with the comeback process, when you have your first running session, your first jumping at a ball, I imagine, when does the fear of that sort of the unstableness of the knee start to subside? When do you start to build a bit of confidence?
The stability of the knee, I felt was it happened quite quickly. When I say quite quickly, 3 or 4 months in, you go, it's pretty stable. Like, it feels like it's not going to buckle. Like, it feels solid. I just had so much other stuff going on in the knee that was just causing me pain with kicking and running and all sorts of things. So it just felt like I was, at times it felt like I was never going to play again. It felt like, I've just turned 30. I feel like I'm 45. Like, it's absolutely killing me. But, it turned the corner, and, the resilience has been good.
Well, Brucey, the one thing, I was at the game on Friday night, the one thing I noticed, even though you're working your way back up to full fitness, you're still getting your feel for the game. The one thing I did notice was your attitude and what that brought out in your teammates around you, especially the young small forwards. And, you can't underestimate what you bring to that culture of that footy club down there at the Dogs. You got a pretty tight-knit kind of little bunch down there in the forward line.
Yeah, we do, and I think that's some of the feedback that I got, and some of the feedback that I've noticed all year, and just watching from afar, is it just has been a slight disconnect, especially between the forwards, because a lot of them are so young. Like Aaron Norton is the most experienced player down there, and he's in like his 4th year or his 5th year. He's a young fella. He's 22 years old, and the rest of them are younger than that. So just to help that forward line function, and just to bring that little bit of experience, that little bit of a calm head. I've played 150 games of footy. And just to give him that bit of confidence was good. And I think it also helps when the Bont is champagne like he was on Friday night.
Oh, yeah. He turns into his best form.
Pants the same.
Yeah. Well, Brucey, appreciate you sharing. That's a lot of insight for us and our listeners here. It's the big build-up here at Marvel Stadium. We're building up. We're only about 20 minutes away from the first bounce. Don't forget, built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream. It's the Bombers and the Gold Coast. We'll be back shortly to dissect that one. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M, Rock Footy.
The Triple M Footy preview for the all-new Stealth Driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness.
From Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. 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 One minute. Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'Rocks Footy.
The Triple M Footy preview. The all-new Stealth Driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness.
Big build-up here at Marvel Stadium. Essendon taking on the Gold Coast Suns, due to kick off in about 20 minutes' time. We've got Josh Bruce in the house with Mickey Roberts, Willie Ralston calling the action here with Timmy Solly. And we've got Nat Yanidis down on the boundary this evening for Bob Jane's E-Marts. We might just go quickly around the grounds. There's a game happening at TIO Stadium up there in Alice Springs. A big one, actually, because the Demons taking on a Port Adelaide side that's still vying for finals, and it's currently Melbourne 4-goals, 6:30, trailing the Port Adelaide Footy Club 5-1-31.
It's pretty hot up there too. Yeah. I think it's around 29, 30 degrees.
She looks hot, doesn't it, Robbo?
Yeah.
And some of the major ball winners in that one so far. Viney's got 15, Petrarca's got 13, as well as Langdon. And for the Power, Houston and Boak have 14 apiece. Bailey Fritsch has kicked a couple for the Melbourne Footy Club, and Marshall, Boak, Finlayson and Bergman all have one apiece. So She's tied up there. It's a big one, isn't it, for the Power Willie? How do you see this one playing out?
Well, the ladder's a fascinating read at the moment. You've got a logjam between 7th and 1st, and Geelong winning last night means that they're currently outright on top, a game ahead of Melbourne, who, if they go on to lose this, all of a sudden are back in the pack. And for Port, on the other hand, this is a similar equation to the Gold Coast Suns. They're on equal wins, and if they manage to pull this off, they will be level on points with Richmond in 8th position. So there's a lot of different races going on at the moment, and there's a lot of interest.
Now, Robert, you were at the game last night, the Cats and the Blues. Everyone, big build-up to that one. The Cats, they're the real deal.
Absolutely they are. They're on top. And Carlton, with the hype and their fans, they were wanting blood last night just to prove that they're aiming at a top 4 spot. And they didn't get a look in. Seriously, Curnow got some early goals, but it was billed as the two tools either end. And I didn't realise how good Jeremy Cameron was. The Tom and Jerry show was fantastic last night, but some of his leads into the pocket and the ability to actually snap a goal but also get it back into the key spot at the top of the square, for a big guy like that, he's so athletic and wiry tough. And his ability to outrun his opponent as well. And they've got a couple of them. Blitzars was, again, one of the best on ground. And Stanley even showed his colours and got away from a lumbering ruckman. So they've got it all together. And they get Stewart back on. Does he come back next week or the week after? So they're nearly at full strength. Meningola's one that got... he got that tackle on the outer side in the early minutes, and then he had to come off at quarter time with concussion. But they've got their list back. It's very settled. And they're going to be really hard to beat. Now, Geelong, they're settled.
Brucey, another big game last night at Optus Stadium, and particularly for Fremantle fans, they're looking to finish top 4 this year, but they go down to the Swans outfit. That's Swans outfit. They're a young side, but when they're up and about with the experience of Buddy and the likes up forward, they're very dangerous come finals time.
Yeah, they are. I watched that game pretty closely. One of my best mates is Paddy McCartan, obviously from the Saints days, and he's in All Australian contention down there.
Absolutely.
At centre half back. He's really holding down the key post, but. The thing that I love about Sydney is just their young players. They've just got a lot of swagger, and your Chad Warners, Mills, Lloyd, Goulden, all these guys. They're just doing some incredible work, and I think when the Swans get rolling and their small forwards get on the end of it with Heaney and Papley, geez, they're a dangerous team. But yeah, it's interesting. Big win on the road. Big win on the road.
Just an update on Paddy. You know him. Is he just a tap on the jaw from going down that road again, or do you reckon that he's been able to work through that?
Oh, well, it's a hard question to answer. I mean, you don't really know. He copped a huge hit. I remember maybe 2 months ago that looked bad, but he pulled up through that quite well. He missed a week with concussion, so I mean he's been through the rigours. He's been working with some really good some neuropsychs that are ahead of their time. There's some guys from the States that he was working with, who Kobe Stevens has worked through as well. And they're really working well with him. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, if he got another massive one, you'd think it would be curtains, but fingers crossed. And I think the move, putting him down in the back line's been a masterstroke. Putting him down there, allowing him to see the ball, see the man, and not have to go back with the flight as much and cop those knees to the head like he was
with his brother.
Yeah, they must be loving playing together, Robert. It's a great sight to watch. We'll just quickly go through the matches. It was the Bulldogs on Friday night by 28 over the Saints. Then Collingwood getting it done by 5. Young Dacos, 40 touches again. He's nipped up the Rising Star Award there.
And 3 goals. Too.
Yep. And then the rest of the games of the round, we had obviously a great win by the Lions by 40 points over the Giants. North Melbourne, a big win yesterday, Saturday, twilight by 4. Geelong got over Carlton by 30. Sydney over the Dockers by 17. Earlier today, it was the Hawks by 25 over the Eagles. And at TIO Stadium, it's a tight one. Melbourne by 5 points. We'll be back shortly to dissect this one and go through the ins and outs. Only 10 minutes away for the first bounce here for Essendon and the Gold Coast. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
The Triple M footy preview for the all-new Stealth Driver from TaylorMade, with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness.
From Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
seconds till Triple M rocks footy. Till Triple M rocks footy. Till Triple M rocks footy. Seconds till Triple M rocks footy. Seconds till Triple M rocks footy. Seconds till Triple M rocks footy.
Triple M rocks footy in 30 seconds. Twenty seconds. 10 seconds.
'M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Massive build-up here at Marvel Stadium for Essendon and Gold Coast. Big welcome to our Gold Coast viewers who have just joined us. Joshy Bruce in the house today with Mickey Roberts. Willie Ralston will be calling the action here with Tim Solly. But Ethan Meldrum on the stats. Nat Unides down on the boundary for Bob Jane T-Marts. Let's get to some of the player matchups for SKG Radiology. SKG Radiology now bulk billing on all Medicare rebatable services. Brucey, Robbo, how do we see some of the big player matchups this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the key forward, key back matchup between Big Peter Wright and Sam Collins. I reckon it's going to be a mouth-watering clutch. We know that there was a bit of hoopla about the way that Sam Collins defends, and Bevo had a little bit to say about the way he was treating Aaron Norton. So he's a very close checking defender, and Big Peter Wright's kicked 40 and he's in career best form. So I think that it'll be a long way to stop Essendon if they can get that done.
Miller's such an indicator to the Gold Coast. Took Miller, and I've just been watching his little warm-up, and he's been running either side of the ruckman, bursting out of the middle. They've got to stop that. And Corbell's the man, because he did a job on Lachie Neale last week. Neale only had 16 possessions, and Corbell ran with him and also scored against him as well, so he's got the ability to do so. And for a young player like that, I reckon give him the job, give him the mature job to roll Miller, and that could be a game changer.
9 coaches' votes last week for Caldwell, equal best on ground with Wright, and he had, as you said, 26 and a goal of his own, so that's a really impressive tagging performance. It's a no-brainer, I would have thought, to throw him to the most dangerous player on the ground, who I think is Tuke Miller.
We might head down the stairs for Bob Jones Teamart. Nat Yanidis, what's the conditions like down there and some of the ins and outs, if you will?
Tim, the world's most boring conditions report. No wind, no rain, because we are under the lid at Marvel Stadium, of course. No late changes for either side today. The Medi subs for the Gold Coast Suns, Rory Atkins, and for Essendon will be Braden Ham today. Also, a big shout out to Michael Hurley, who made his VFL return today after 666 days. 5 touches playing as a forward, and a couple of the AFL boys actually went and watched the first half at the Windy Hill before they got here to the game. So a really nice story there for Michael Hurley and the Bombers.
Beautiful, Nat. A little clip for me earlier like that. Brucey, the key forwards, obviously Hurley coming back as a key forward. That's interesting news, isn't it?
It is interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that would happen. Obviously, he's had a really rough run, Michael Hurley, but he's one of the stars of the comp, and he's a really good fella. And isn't that a good sign for the Essendon's culture that a few of the boys who were playing seniors today went down and watched him play for a half? I think that's a really good sign that the club's heading in a more positive direction than potentially they were at the start of the year.
I've just got to clear the air in the box before we actually bounce the ball. And Will, have you heard the film Boogie Nights at all?
Yes.
You rolled in today in a jacket that's about 4 merino sheep, Dirk Dickler style. Seriously, it's so retro.
The leather elbow pad.
I can just see
it's a smooth
Cuban
operation.
cigars around an LA, balmy night in the way back.
Palm Spring.
Seriously, women of wool would be so against you up in Bendigo. Seriously,
They'd be for it, surely.
Oh, yeah.
Supporting the industry.
So where'd you get it? Where have you pinched that?
Axel Arigato, and I believe, Josh, you've got a few shoes from the same.
I do have one pair of shoes, don't try and throw me under the bus, mate. You brought your guide dog in here today. It looks like I've got a Labrador.
Hey, Will, you can pull it off. Don't worry.
Thank you, Chris White. So it's a cold day outside. It is windy and it is raining, but under here it is perfect conditions for footy, and I'm really looking forward to it. Essendon, the second highest scoring team in the AFL behind the Cats since round 14. They're averaging just a touch under 100 points a game, so they've really turned their form around after a disappointing first half of the season.
It's good to see you've done your research, Will. You've been in the papers during the week. He got the call up. He knows what he's got to do, but don't shine too much on the stats, because we'll head to this man on the Red Z Lenders today. He's just made the journey over from the G. He's everywhere. He does everything. He's a plug man. Ethan Meldrum, welcome to you, mate.
Hello to you, Tim. I believe they call that a double invoice day. I'm not ashamed to admit that. But Will has stolen one of my stats. I was going to start off, Essendon, their offensive flurry in the last month, 97 points per game, 90 plus in all of those games. Also number 1 for marks in that period of time. Only Geelong scored more points than them. Dylan Shield, also watching him since Darcy Parish has been out. Without Darcy Parish on the side, 25 disposals in every game, averaging 8 clearances per game as well. Really stepped up in Darcy Parish's absence.
Not to mention after the Rockets he was copying in the media, he seems to have turned around and really come into form, young Dylan. So.
Absolutely. Last 4 weeks have been terrific from him. Gold Coast, really good signs. They're 8-8. 4th in the league for contested ball differential, inside 50 differential, time in forward half as well. Number 1 in the league for forcing forward half stoppages. Ben Ainsworth got to highlight his form as well. Last month, 20 disposals. He's averaged 10 score involvements as well, which is number 1 in the competition. But signs of a thriller as well between both sides. Essendon last 3 games, all decided by 10 points or less. Gold Coast last 3 games, all decided by 5 points or less, including that kick after the siren last week. So we could be in for a thriller if things go to form here today.
Beautiful start by you, Heath. Just like that. Just
Wow. So we're going to get.
He thought he might have been off the boil. He might not have done his research. He just comes in here and just lays back with his denim jacket and goes bang.
So guaranteed close one.
Yeah, guaranteed close one.
I'll not guarantee it, but
Guaranteed close one.
It's been a good weekend of footy. Let's hope we finish it off well, eh?
Taking you back to 2014 as well, Ethan, if you go back and
here we go.
Back, Gold Coast finishing 12th, their best ever finish.
Yes.
Of course, they lost 6 of their last 7 after Gary Ablett did his shoulder in that Collingwood game. Do you think that this is the season, Robbo and Brucey, that the Gold Coast can finally make that next step, possibly get themselves into a top 8 position?
Well, from a selfish perspective, I certainly hope not, because we're vying for probably the same position in the 8 as the Doggies. But, I mean, who knows? They're in ripping form, and they've had soldiers go down. They've had blokes do knees, lots of injuries. They're just having another person step up, the next soldier up mentality. And, they're a very exciting team to watch.
So if the Gold Coast win today, Robbo, they go to 36 points. They're up level with the Saints, the Tigers and the Bulldogs. So this is really, really an important game. And if we look at the run home, Robbo, they've got the Lions at the Gabba, Eagles at Metricon, Hawks at UTAS, Cats at Metricon, and then the final round against the Kangaroos at Marvel. So probably, 50-50 winnable games there.
So what are we saying? 4, Heath? Are we saying 4 or 5 they've got to win to get into the final? 13 wins. Does that get you in?
Well, the thing about 8th spot at the moment, Gold Coast win today. There are 4 teams, 9 and 8, between 8th and 11th. Richmond there at the moment, obviously lost to North Melbourne yesterday. Western Bulldogs, Joshy Bruce fist pumping in the box, 9th. St Kilda 10th. Gold Coast 11th. If they win today, go 9 and 8. And there's 2 games between those sides, and I can't remember who's
Carlton.
7th. Carlton's 7th at the moment. They're 11 and 6. So a lot of teams vying for that 8th spot, so every win important at the moment, Robbo.
I just want to reflect on the Melbourne Storm. They signed Bellamy before they sign anyone. So you've got to get your coach and you've got to get the front door on the A level up and running before you worry about what's going out on the green stuff. So he was the star recruit, Bellamy. So they've got really strict confidence in Stewie Dew. That's the thing I teased today. I love the fact that they were 2 and 5 at the start of the season, and they believed him in, and they've had some little minor hiccups with regards to trying to get over the line. I reckon that is so much motivation to go in this last little bit to see if they can get into the final.
And just on the coaching panel, I mean, we spoke about it earlier, but some of the guys they've got around him now, they're really supporting him with some good senior coaches. Obviously, Stephen King is an incredibly accomplished player and coach, senior assistant coach. He was understudy to Bevo for a long time at the Dogs, and he's actually sorely missed with our midfield, and you can see their midfield's really blossoming under his tutelage.
So the players going through their final motions here out in the ground. We're only a couple of minutes away. How do we see this one playing out? We've dissected it pretty hard over the last 40 minutes or so. Can the Gold Coast continue on their merry way and make finals? Or is this Bombers outfit that's won 3 of their last 4, really good month of footy put together, do they cause the upset here today?
Guaranteed close game, as we know. It all points that way. But I'm actually looking at the fact that they are going to be so motivated, 8 and 8 at the moment, Gold Coast. They can get the job done here, but they've got to actually go from straight out of the blocks. They've got to create a scoreboard pressure. They've got to get it out of the middle. They've got to embarrass Essendon in the middle to actually get it down. And they've got so many options up forward. See if we can get a blitz for Gold Coast in this first turn and then run to the tape.
Dulcet tones of Mickey Roberts in the back row with Josh Bruce. Timmy Solly calling the action today with Willie Ralston. And in the stats, as always, Ethan Meldrum doing some fine work there. We've got Nat Yannides down on the boundary for Bob Jane Teamarts. Don't forget, 100% Aussie Angus beef and chunky tomato relish. Catch a mighty Angus at Macca's today. Final minute here as the players are walking out to their positions. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy. Here's Willie Ralston to take us away with the first bounce.
So under the lid at Marvel, the Suns trying to keep in touch with the top 8 for the first time in their short history. The Bombers trying to take some momentum into the final few weeks of the 2022 season. It will be the Gold Coast kicking to the right of your radio dial. The Bombers to the left. The umpire holds the ball aloft. We've got Witts in the middle. He'll be taking on Andrew Phillips of the Bombers. From McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy and play is now underway. Witts gets first hands to it. It's a double fister. Handball from Anderson finds Rao. Suns go inside 50. It's Ridley who gets a cheap little kick away. Handball comes wide, and it's now the inclusion Redmond who sends it down the wing for the Bombers.
Sends it to a one-on-one, playing in the front spot. Ballard takes it neutral territory on the outer side. What a player he's become. He sends it up to half forward. Holman back inside laterally. You heard the umpire, not 15. Lukosius winds up on the right boot, inside 50. Casbolt crashes the pack. Front and centre Shield. Threw it out somehow, and then a scrambling ball to the top of the square. Numbers here with the Gold Coast. Shouldered well. Takes it on the bounce. Could have handballed Ellis. Instead, sent back towards the boundary and snaps. But misses to the near side. First score for the afternoon of the Suns. Very gettable opportunity, goes begging.
For a bloke that's 200 centimetres, he's pretty agile, and when the ball hits the ground, he's not out of the contest at all.
He's almost better at ground level than in the air, Marbiol. He's had a really good season, obviously, with the 34 goals already this year. That's a huge win for him.
So it's Redmond who brings it out from the goal square. He's got Laverde short, and he hits up Merritt. The Bombers just chipping it around in defensive 50.
The matchups in front of the ball, we do have Collins on Peter Wright, as expected.
Andy McGrath hands it back to Ridley, who's picked up a bit of footy early in this contest. Zirk Thatcher deep in the back pocket. Bites off another short kick to Andy McGrath, and he's 50 metres out from the Suns' goal.
Right back flank. Stagnant footy here at the moment for the Bombers as he wheels and goes. Almost got himself into trouble. He'll handball out wide, and then a little 1-2 with Ridley. Back to McGrath. He finds Merritt. Runs on here, McGrath. Riding shotgun. Takes a bounce. Handballs up to half forward. Langford. Now Redmond on the burst. Chased down by Rankin. A high ball inside 50. Back with a flight.
Oh, gutsy.
A gutsy mark going back with a flight. The man we had it only moments ago, and there's a bit of markers on here, boys. Bit of feeling in it early.
50 metres.
They're going to play the 50, which will take the young man, Nick Martin, to point-blank range, where he makes no mistake. The first goal for the afternoon goes to Martin for the Bombers. They're 1 goal straight 6. Gold Coast Suns just the one behind. That's all on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Love Andy McGrath's ball movement there. He just made something out of nothing, gave a little 1-2 handball, got him going with a little bit of handball chain to break up the Gold Coast zone because they were really stagnant with their boys, but a little bit of handball, a little bit of run and carry, and got him out the back. And as we can see, a little 50 given away there on the Harvey Norman.
What was the 54? It was just a little melee and push
agree.
around.
I thought he had every right to fly with that, with the Fight Lemons, but deemed late by the umpire.
Corball on Miller, by the way, too, so we pumped that up at the start. So Corball in good form. Let's see if he can do a job on Miller today.
So back in the middle, from McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy, and there's Miller on cue. Handballs to his co-skipper Witts. Ball goes to the half-forward flank for the Suns. The umpire spotted a free kick, and it's going the way of Essendon. They thought it was a 50, but Heppel has been told to stand where he is, and he chips laterally to Dylan Shield.
Shield wheels and goes right on defensive 50, takes a bounce with the shiny yellow boots. He goes out of this broadcast wing, back with a flight to Thatcher, and the spoil came from Day. He's providing a lot, Day, since he's got back in this side, Robbo.
He has, and there's so many options that they've got too. They've got tools all over the place. On every line you look down, they've got a key forward or a key tool in the Gold Coast.
So Essendon 1 goal 6. The Suns 1 behind, 4 minutes into the first quarter here at Marvel on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. And the Bombers work away from this clearance as well. McGrath's kick is nice, looking for Heppel, but it's been chopped off by Swallow. Heppel manages to get hands to it. Umpire spots a push in the back, and it's another free kick going the Bombers' way.
Some of those handballs are lightning fast. The Bulldogs do it brilliantly, but half the time you don't get your hand to it.
Yeah, there's half of them are a throw, half of them are a handball. There's not a lot of fist contact coming through, and we've got a few Superstars at it. Tommy Vittoria's the one.
Joshy Bruce, Mickey Roberts in the back row for Seabus Super, making hard work pay off as Laverde chops off, handballs to Merritt. He's got time to wheel and go. Left foot ball to half forward through the hands of Anderson. Out the back door. Clean pickup was good by Langford. Gets it off to McGrath, who sends it out to the open side. And the man with the Mississippi mud flap, Durham, takes it 30 out on a 45-degree angle.
I'll tell you what, Andy McGrath started like a house on fire, hasn't he, Heath? He's, the thing that I love what he's doing is he's taking the Bombers forward. He's using his legs, he's bringing them inside, and he's allowing them to get dangerous looks inside 50. You know, we've been critical on the Bombers at times for going backwards. You know, their midfielders getting ball back of centre, but going forward's really important.
So the boy from Seymour, 4 goals, 4 for the year. He loads up from 45. Oh, he loved it as soon as it connected with his boot. Likewise for Durham, Essendon have got their second. They're 2 goals straight, 12. Gold Coast 1 behind. That's all on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
I didn't expect this, Timmy. I didn't expect the fact that the Bombers could get 2 quick ones like that. I thought it would be the other way. Gold Coast would actually rip into the Bombers and show them up on the scoreboard. So proved me wrong. Heath, Merritt's the one. Merritt's the one. How many possessions he's had already?
Zach Merritt, 4 disposals for him. Andy McGrath, 6. They've had as many as Gold Coast have combined between them so far, early stages, first quarter.
Chopping them up. It's interesting to think, potentially Gold Coast, after such a stirring victory last week with the goal after the siren, maybe they've come out a little bit flat after such a big week, you know, such an emotional week. It's interesting to see.
Josh Bruce on the Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. And the umpire bounces it down once again. Swallow in the middle, handballs to no one in particular. The first man to meet it is Caldwell. His handball was errant. Crafty one over the top of the shoulder from Rankin.
It's one of those handballs.
I think it was not much fist contact whatsoever. And the umpire's going to throw this one up about 70 metres from the Gold Coast goal.
I'll tell you what, if the Bombers get another one quickly, Gold Coast's got to work out something to stop that.
Coming through Swallow. Anderson coughed it up, but he goes back and finds it. He's immediately tackled by Draper, diving on top Stringer.
It's all coming out of the middle, Mickey, isn't it? They're just right on top in the middle here. Draper versus Witts.
The big Drape goes to work again, taps down. Oh, clean pick up there by Hobbs. A wobbly right foot ball to half forward. Unclined bounce for Johns. It'll work out for Langford. Handballs inboard, 2-metre Peter, hiding out the back door. Slots it home. 3 straight for the Bombers. 1 behind for the Suns. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard.
I just said it. If they get another one, now Essendon, the coaching brains of Stuart Dew and his assistants, now have to stop the bleeding. They can't allow this to blow out, especially what we've played. How many minutes, Heath?
Red Z Landing, 7 minutes so far.
7 minutes, 3 goals. They can stamp their mark on this game. They've got to work out a way. And I tell you what, Caldwell on Miller, I know it was obvious. He's doing the job already.
Yeah, and Hobbs, beautiful pick up out of the middle and came straight out the front of stoppage. And there's nothing the Gold Coast backs can do. And he sent a chaos ball in. It was a bit of a deuce row. It bowled everyone, went through a couple of legs and straight out the back. And Peter Wright, Joe the Goose against the old team. How do you like it?
A rare running goal for Peter Wright. He has kicked 92.5% of goals this season from marks, the most in the top 25 goal kickers. Good Red Z Lender for you there, Heath.
Wow. Yeah, cool boy.
And we're back
it's
in
getting
the middle.
awkward in here.
And the Bombers are going to win another centre clearance. This one through Mason Redmond, looking for Wright again. Off hands, up high, spots a freeze.
Yeah. Just there. Definitely there.
I'll tell you what, I reckon Peter Wright is the best set shot in the game. I mean, I don't want to jinx him, but he's just got a beautiful kicking style. He's definitely got the journey here. It's in that pocket where it tends to slide across the face just a little bit here, so you want to be aiming left post and hopefully it can just slide across with that little bit of wind that comes in from the tunnel there.
He loves this joint too, the benign positions. He loves it.
So Peter Wright, he'll kick from about 45 metres out, tough angle, strikes it pretty well. It's sublime. Peter Wright kicks 2 in a minute. And the Bombers go 4-0-24 to the Suns 0-1-1. That's a 23-point lead, only 9 minutes into the first quarter on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard.
Okay, Stuart Dew's got to take the sting out of this. He's got to actually make everyone accountable now. They can't afford to let this go. We said after 3, but now they've got 4, and their confidence is right up. So they're going to put the heat on every Gold Coast player now to perform, to get to quarter time. They are under the pump.
Some of the Reds, Heath, catching your eye?
Red Z lending pressure so far is a worry. AFL average pressure factor 180. Gold Coast tracking at just 147, but Essendon 242 their pressure factor so far.
It's all coming from the midfield. Their midfield are absolutely all over them. They're winning the footy, they're putting the pressure on, and they're just smacking them out of clearance. And the Gold Coast backs, they're just under the pump.
The McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Big 2 metre. Peters got 2. Ball in the air. Durham climbs up over the top. Witt's got a tap in there. Shields opts to spike the ball, but Miller will mop up. A right foot worm-burning ball out to the broadcast wing. Big 2 on 2. Oh, look at the tip rat high, and he just paddles it to advantage. Collects on the bounce. Tight ropes the boundary, but he's knocked over by Bose.
See, their confidence is up. They're just taking the game on, and this is what's going to happen. So they're playing nervous footy, Gold Coast. They've got to really man up and be accountable.
10-minute mark of this first term. It's the Bombers 4 goals straight, 24. Gold Coast 1 behind.
So Draper takes on Witts. Dylan Shield free kick. Is there going to be advantage to Caldwell? Umpire says no, and it's unlucky. So Dylan Shield to put it inside 50 again for the Bombers. He bites off a short one. It's touched by Ainsworth. Bombers still have time. Handball looking for Holtz. Cleaned up by Swallow. Growl. Flanders trying to link up by hand, but they're under all sorts of pressure. Caldwell running inside 50, looking for goal. Outside of the boots. Goes through for a behind, and it's their first blemish. 4-1-25 to the Bombers, leading the Suns by 24 points.
Someone's done an arm here.
It's interesting you say that about the confidence. I mean, Gold Coast, they do look tight. It's like they know that the game's an important game for finals, whereas Essendon, they look like it's because almost their season's finished. Their season's over. They're playing freer. They've got no pressure. They're playing really, really well.
One head downstairs for Bob Jones. He-Mars look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today, bobjane.com.au. Nat Yanetti's Hobbs has come off with his shoulder.
Yeah, that looks like he's come off second best in that contest, just on the 50 there. So he's currently being assessed by the physio.
Markov finds Ballard, who fans it wide. It was an ordinary ball, but Bose made it work. Now he darts one. Miller. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was and he dropped the pill. He got lucky in the end, so we've got a free kick right near the centre circle. Winds back. A long driving ball inside 50. The nest forms. Who's at the front centre? Redmond. Clean. Got it out the back door. Kelly off a step. Blasts it. And playing in the front squat. Guelphy takes it on centre wing.
The Triple M Red Z lending stats. Mason Redmond, Ethan, he returned from COVID this week and he's already had a bit of footy.
Yeah, certainly has. 5 disposals, 136 metres gained already, most on the ground.
So Guelphy sends it up the line looking for Jones. Ballard wins it off hands. Kicks it around the corner. Guelphy is there once again. McGrath picks up a loose footy and it's Mason Redmond once again. High kick into the centre square. It should be Ellis. And the former Tiger takes an easy uncontested mark in defence for the Suns.
Centre half back Ellis goes wide. Lemons happy just to take some sting out of it here, the Suns. Bose left half back, just stopping, no one coming at him, so he decides to trot away now and drive a long drop punt down the line. Chol the target. Front centre was too hot there for Rao. Heppel there for company. Now at ground level. Did well there, Rao. Went and got it. Ellis out the back door for Miller. A right football up inside 50. Casbolt flies his Chol lurking. Takes it. Runs into the goal square and blasts it home for the Gold Coast first. They're 1-1-7. And they stop the bleeding there, the Suns. Essendon 4-1-25. Triple M IGA scoreboard.
Well, Chol, as we've seen in one pocket early in the game, he was able to grab it and then spin around, and then he's just read that like a rover. Seriously, got lucky because it sort of went high on the outside, but ran into an open goal. But you've got to be there. You've got to actually use your brains and actually get to the ball. So he timed his run beautifully, and that's their first one, and thank goodness they got it.
That's a cardinal sin, though, from the Bombers defenders. That ball's got to come to the front. You can't be letting the ball out over the back like that and allowing the dangerous forwards to run onto it. And as we said, Chol, he's better at ground level than he is in the air at the moment, and that's 42 for the year. He's having a great season.
And he kicked 3 last week against Richmond, including a very similar one to that one late. So we're back in the middle. Suns trying to stem the bleeding. Anderson, the winner against Richmond. And that kick finds the chest of Flanders on centre half forward. Hands it to Swallow, looking for Casbolt. Got him on the chest. What a beautiful kick inside 50.
So the two spearheads now, that's what they needed. So message gone out, urgency within inside 50. So the two spearheads for Gold Coast showing what they're made of, and they need this. They need to bridge the gap.
Levi Casbolt, the former Blue, averaging a career-high goals in 2022. Bit of a renaissance season for the big man, and he strikes that really well.
Did not move the umpire.
Straight through the middle for Levi Casbolt, and in the blink of an eye, the Suns are back in at 2-1-13, and they trail the Bombers by 2 straight kicks on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
I mean, we spoke about a pre-game about the Gold Coast forward line. I mean, with Ben King going down in pre-season at the start of the year with the ACL injury, we weren't sure how they were going to function. They got Casbolt in. Obviously, he's a bit of a veteran, and he's been able to bring so much to the side. He's a real big beast, splitting packs, and obviously Charles there as well. And with Rankin and Ainsworth at their feet, they've become one of the most watchable forward lines in the comp, Timmy.
Brucey, while I got your Migo Choice Hotels around the ground, what's happening up there in Alice Springs at TIO?
Port Adelaide 41 to Melbourne's 38, about 13 minutes to go in the quarter. And it's looking like a tight one.
And when Levi Casbolt starts kicking them like that and the goal umpire doesn't move, you're in for a good day.
We're back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Chol in the guts now. He got the tap down. Miller was taken off it by Stringer. No, the other way.
There's no pressure on those
Pulled
kicks,
down
mate.
by Stringer, so Stringer will take the free kick in the centre circle. Just chisels one over the top. Phillips has dropped into the hole. 55 from home, the big man. Apparently got a massive stingray on his foot from all report from Daisy Thomas as he pops one out wide. That's horrible. Ellis on the turnover and he pops it out the top. Owa's out the back door.
So Owa takes a running bounce. He's got Miller by hand and he's got options aplenty. One of them is Chol. Got it. And he'll have a set shot 30 metres out directly in front.
Haven't they settled Gold Coast? As we said, we've got so many options because of their runners and smalls, and they're all exciting. And they play on instinct, and all of a sudden the spearheads are there, the two talls. Chance for another one.
So we kick the Suns first, and he has a chance to kick their third. After Essendon had a very hot 10 minutes, the Suns can bring this one back to one straight kick. Mabior Chol, 3 goals last week. And that is going to be his second. He made the goal umpire work, but now he's got 2. The Suns move to 3-1-19, and the Bombers are 4-1-25. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard halfway through the first term here at Marvel.
We're able to see the work rate of Took Miller there. We know that he's one of the absolute hardest working midfielders in the comp. And he was going full tilt. He could have had a shot on goal, but he saw that Chol had worked back and ducked back up to the leg, and just an easy, nice little hit up. And we know he's an elite decision maker and elite midfielder, Took, and he'll be pleased to get that one away with the tag that's on him.
Yeah, and the tag's called. Well, he's doing a good job, but he was able to outrun him. So that's the gut running that Miller needs to do to break that tag. He'll do it all day because he's a gun. He's a gun.
It's a real Blues Brothers kind of setup in the back row here today. Mickey Roberts, Josh Bruce.
Blues Brothers.
On the Seabus Supers. You saw that again on the Harvey Norman. Beautiful work there by the Suns. Last chance to receive a bonus gift card on selected home appliances at Harvey Norman shopping store online. As we're back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, the Suns with the clearance. Anderson wobbles one inside 50. Redmond taken down, didn't have the pill. Umpire lets it roll. Day on the up. Gee, there's a late whistle here for the umpire off the play.
Levi.
And Holman will be the beneficiary, is it?
Casbolt.
Big Levi. So we'll go back for a set shot here from 40 out, about 8 metres in from the boundary.
Mickey, he's flushed that one from before, 45 metres out, and I wouldn't say he's famous for his accuracy, so we'll see how he goes in this
and
one.
on the outer side too. Let's see how this goes.
So from the left forward pocket, Big Levi leans back. The umpire works a little and he squeezes it home. Casbolt's got 2. Joel's got 2. They trail by 23 minutes at the 9-minute mark, and all of a sudden it's all tied up, 4 goals, 1 apiece.
I think he's kicked that off the instep, and it's heading for the left post, and it's just swung late, I reckon.
Yeah, it reminds me of the shot after the siren last year with Gary Rowan against us down at Skilled Stadium. He's absolutely munged it off the instep. Everyone thought it was going out on the full, and it swung back in for a goal. And it doesn't matter the way it gets there, does it, Mickey? As long as they go 6 points.
Straight over the head.
ResEd Lending stats talking about Gold Coast pressure up to 205 in the last 10 minutes. Also their use by foot. 19 effective kicks to 3 in the last 10 minutes. 86% by foot they've gone in that period of time.
Hey, Timmy, we've got to find out about Hobbs too with an AC. I reckon he's downstairs in strife, so we might go to Nat.
We'll check in with Nat shortly.
So back in the middle, 25 apiece, and we still have a tick under 9 minutes remaining in the first term. It's like 90s footy at the moment. Big tackle from Rowell, and it was illegal. So Caldwell will get the free kick.
I just sense, Robbo, you're just looking after your own a bit. You know what it's like down there at boundary side.
I just knew what the doctor was doing, and they've taken him down there. He'll have some juice and some needles to try and get him back out.
One of the best needles you can get, the AC. That actually works really well until after the game, isn't it, Mickey?
Might head downstairs for Bob Jones. See much what's happening, Nat?
Yeah, so we're still waiting for Ben Hobbs to come back out the race, but he did not look in good condition. He was shaking his head, he was holding his arm. The good news from an Essendon perspective, Braden Ham's still not warming up, so they haven't called it just yet.
As the umpire calls insufficient intent.
Have you worked that out yet, Brucey, the insufficient intent?
Yeah. I have.
As high wheels he goes.
That's 50-50.
Long one inside 50 and standing tall in the back is Collins. And he'll fan it across the defensive goal face carefully. Top of the defensive goal square, Markov.
So another former Tiger in this Suns lineup. He plays on from the goal square, looking for Casbolt. Can't take that contested grab, but it's going to work out for Lemons. Hands it off to Flanders. Short man is Ainsworth, and he takes a mark in front of the interchange gates. His kick goes short to Holman, and there's numbers everywhere if he wants to use them. Back to Flanders. Long is Day if he wants. He goes there. Bombers have a 3-on-1. They should nullify it. And it looks like Kelly's going to rebound.
Kelly from deep in defence. Durham, a couple of steps, and then a long driving drop punt. And Jake, the snake, just fell to his belly. Just give me a free kick up. He'll take it a left half back. It's all tied up, 4 goals, 1 apiece. The stringer looks inboard, daring ball. It's going to work. Merritt releasing a handball for Redmond, riding shotgun, didn't check the side. Got bumped on the kick and it's hurt him.
That's a cork.
Oh no, run over the footy on the outer side there, Fiorini. Now the cavalry arrive for the Bombers. Shields picks up, looks up, sends it inside 50. Collins and right.
Strong.
2 metre Peter with the gluey jukes.
Redmond's still down, by the way. He's just got back in, but 2 metre Peter. How strong was that?
It looked like he gave up front position, and it looked like Collins was in an awesome position to defend, but too big, too strong, 2 metre Peter.
Well, it was Fiorini on the outer wing. He just had to be clean. Overran the footy, and they could make him pay here, the Bombers. Breeze, third for the afternoon, 2 metre Peter. Skinny, one behind.
The thing about that is that it was the kick from Jake Stringer, bringing them back into the corridor and then going open side, which allowed the forwards and the Bombers to get on the end of it. That's the one. You just got to keep taking risks, and that's what Essendon are doing.
So Markov for the Suns takes a running bounce in front of Peter Wright, looks for Ainsworth, but he drops it. Handball over the top from Durham, finds Shield. Wright has it now. Handball backwards to a running McGrath. High up and under kick. It should be marked by Lukosius, and it is. The Suns able to tread a bit of water here and send the ball back the other way.
So patient out of defence here. Rao. Handball's off. Build nicely. Flanders looking for Chol. Big lead, had the arms chopped by Laverde.
It seems like the Essendon key backs are under the pump. It seems like Chol and Casbolt are just a little bit too big for Laverde down there at the moment. They're really getting on top.
Both sides still taking the game on, which I love. There's jobs that some players have got, but most of them, once they get possession, they're taking the game on. That's why it's so exciting.
As Ethan said, mate, it's guaranteed to be a close one. So, well played, mate.
Might go to Heath Meldrum on some of the red Zeds for us, bud.
Yeah, Andy McGrath still leading the way, 9 disposals. Took Miller, been impressive so far despite the tag, 5 disposals, 2 clearances for him so far.
So 24 minutes into the first term, it's the Bombers by a point on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. Heppel from defence finds Merritt. Sweeping handful for Hine, who loves to run. Takes a running bounce, takes a second. He's now under pressure when he kicks. It dribbles into the hands of the Suns. Flanders links up with Fiorini. He's got Anderson. Long kick looking for Chol in a one-on-one. It bounces in front of everyone. Ainsworth looping around, should be caught holding the footy. Umpire wants to see it thrown back in, and the fans don't like it.
Did Ainsworth have a chance to run into goal now?
I think he could have. Is he a left or a right footer? Because if he had been a left footer,
I reckon he had the perfect little corridor on the left side to whack in.
Yeah.
The ball spins back in. Deep in attack for the Suns. Witts and Draper. Draper to the front. Durham arches his back. And then an inside-out banana down the line. And playing in the front spot, Guelphy takes it at half-back. A low spearing ball in the right direction. The good ball came through. They work it out here, the Suns. Under pressure, Anderson. Out wide. Smothered off the boot of Fiorini. Tracking the footy, Holman. Couldn't quite. Right. Ricochets up. Fiorini out the back door. They're going to get it up to the 50 now, the Suns. But McGrath dropping in taste to catch.
Been everywhere.
Crowds into it, aren't they? Because of the effort that the Bombers are actually showing.
And the Bombers have a 1-point lead. Hind in defence now. Sends it wide for Ridley. He bites off a short one, and it's Zirk Thatcher. Tucked into the boundary line. Still in the defensive half for the Bombers. High kick to the wing. It's Collins taking on Phillips of Essendon. And Phillips wins the ground ball, does really well. Handball to Langford. He's got Stringer. Sends it back by hand to Phillips. Short kick. It's Merritt. Looking forward. Going towards the goal square. It's going to dribble through for a behind. And that moves the Bombers to 4-3-27. 26 minutes into the first term. The Suns are 4-1-25. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard.
The Bombers are electric on offense. Jeez, they're going so fast, and same with Gold Coast. It's been a very exciting game to watch.
Bulldogs spearhead in the back row. Joshy Bruce for Seabus Super. As they'll go long and deep outside to the broadcast wing, the Suns. Chol there with Draper. Opts off the deck. Durham! Box seat. Fortuitous. Found himself in the hole at the right time, and he'll go back for a set shot from 50 directly in front.
Draper was good, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
Never out of the contest.
Handballs to Redmond. He's got the journey, but he's absolutely munged it straight to Shanktown. And the Bombers move to 4-4-28. Gold Coast 4-1-25.
It seems like Redmond and Hind are just, they're giving so much run off halfback, but a lot of them, they've been munging a lot of their kicks, so they almost need to take a couple of settling steps just before they release the footy, the two of them.
For Bob Jane teammates, Nat, what's happening on the boundary?
Good news for Essendon. Ben Hobbs is back on the bench. He's had his shoulders strap. He was testing it out before on the boundary. Looks like he's just about to come on in the next couple of minutes as well.
No, he would have had the juice for sure.
Absolutely. It's the best one there is, that one.
So Took Miller. He finds Brandon Ellis. And with just a tick over 2.5 minutes remaining in this first term, it's the Suns with ball in hand.
It almost seemed like that moment, that contest was what got Gold Coast back in the game, wasn't it? Bit of a momentum swing.
Yeah. There's been a couple of heavy goes at it. Good goes at it. Heavy bodies going at it. Tremendous.
Heath, we might go around the grounds for Choice Hotels. What's happening at TIO?
Yeah, Ben Brown lining up for a set shot to put Melbourne further in front. They're up by 2 points, 5 minutes left in the third term over Port Adelaide.
Ground level ball. Anderson at half-back. Gets it Ellis. Shaky moments.
Oh.
They're going to work it out, though. There's a fanning kick wide, finds Miller at right half-back. He's got Witts down the line, so too Ellis. They can raffle it. In the end, Ellis takes the mark. Witts just lurking out near the interchange gate, and he gets it now. Hard up on the boundary, just pops one over the top into the hole. Running in there was Anderson. What are his Reds heads so far, Heath? Noah Anderson?
Noah Anderson, leading ball winner for the Suns. 7 disposals, 3 clearances.
Inside on the 45, finds Ellis. So much run and drive from that man. A long deep ball inside 50. Chol out of position. A mop up. Kelly around his body. And he's got the man just hanging out the back door right on defensive 50 in Caldwell.
Equal best on ground for the Bombers last week in their upset win against Brisbane. Jai Caldwell, excellent tagging jog on Lockie Neal. And that kick is cut off by Caleb Graham of the Suns, and it goes over the boundary line with a minute remaining. It's going to be a ball in right on centre wing.
Yeah, it's a must-watch with Caldwell taking on Took Miller, because Miller's using his pace. But I tell you what, every time he breaks clear, Miller, one other Essendon bloke knocks him to the side, bowls him over, so they're alert, the Bombers.
It's a team job by the looks of things.
Heppel's handball cut off. Anderson mops up, and then an inside-out banana up to half-forward. through the hands of Day. Ground level, McGrath steps through the traffic. Oh, that was classy. Little inching ball out to Langford. Up to half forward. The spoil came through from Ham. Now Lukosius. Was he worked off the bill? Yes, he was. And he'll settle things at half back. 43 seconds left on the clock in this first term. It's the Bombers by 3.
So the Suns, that's an interesting kick, looking for Oaya. He's 50 metres out, looking for Day, and that's ugly. The entry inside 50, intercepted by Zirk Thatcher of the Bombers.
Geez, that ball from Lukosius was nice.
Wasn't it?
50 metres, just put it into a tiny pocket of space.
Didn't Willie sound like he was getting excited there for a moment there. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Still getting confirmation, that's how we say it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What are we going with?
Long down the right. Away. There's Markov around his body up to the 50. Draper spills the mark. As the quarter time siren rings true here at Marvel Stadium, an entertaining first term. 2 goals to 2 metre Peter, 2 to Chol, 2 to Casbolt. And it was all Essendon early. They led by 23 points at the 9-minute mark, but they clawed their way back, the Suns. And it's the Bombers leading 4-4-28 to the Gold Coast Suns 4-1-25 for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie condition. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. 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 One minute. Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 10 seconds.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Repco. Show your card and save this month at Repco. Driven by passion for 100 years.
Quarter time here at Marvel Stadium. It was all the Dons early. 2 goals to 2 metre Peter, slotting him from the pocket. They led by 23, but then Scholl pulled on a couple. Casbolt slotted a couple of set shots. And at quarter time, it's the Bombers 4-4-28, leading the Suns 4-1-25. Josh Bruce, Mickey Roberts in the house for Seabus Super. We'll go to this man for all the stats that matter from that first term, Ethan Meldrum.
Don't check the tape, but I do believe I guaranteed a close one. Ping-ponging around between defensive 50 and inside 50 at the moment. AFL average going from end to end 24%. Both teams going at above that. Essendon 38%, Gold Coast 30%. Essendon already scored 3 times from that source so far. Led by players like Mason Redmond, 10 disposals, already the 300 metres gained. Andy McGrath, 11 touches, and Noah Anderson leading the way for the Suns with 9.
Well, Robbo, it was warning signs early, wasn't it? I mean, they come out firing the Dons. That was all on their terms, and you said Stewie Dew needed to make an action plan, and he certainly did.
Yeah, well, I had to find something. When I said they were 3-zip, then they were 4-zip. All of a sudden, alarm bells, and Stewie, he did find a way, and it was the gut running of Miller, I reckon, on Corbell. He broke away a couple of times, and they lifted their eyes. They got it to their spearheads. Now, Joel actually read a couple of really nice plays off the pack, but when we had Casbolt going back and then slotting one straight over the umpire's hat, I'm thinking they're in for a good day here. So they were able to scramble back and level pegging at quarter time. We've got a game on our hands because both sides have taken the game on, and it's exciting that not one is pulling back. They're trying to gain territory. They're trying to look for inside. It's a fast deck, as we know, and a short one. So let's see what happens in the second term.
Here's Willie Ralston for the second quarter underway for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
Bombers by 3 behinds at quarter time. It's worth mentioning David Swallow equaling the Suns game record, 192 today. Draws level with Jared Harborough.
Yep.
Great effort, though.
It is. He's played every game in 2022, signed on until the end of 2024. He's been a stalwart for this club. Out of the middle, the Suns win the first centre clearance through Anderson, looking for Casbolt. Chol's at the back. Again. He has time, swings onto his left, sprays it, misses a very gettable shot, and it would have been a beautiful start to the quarter.
He had a massive chance, didn't he?
I'll tell you what, Essendon's defence want to sort out their drop of ball stuff. They just bring it to the ground, bring it to the front, soft drops. When you're defending, you want to clear the area with your spoils so it doesn't bring their small forwards or the ground players into it.
They work their way to half back here. Martin, handballs for Shield, who gets the afterburners on, looks into the corridor. He's got a man right in the middle of the ground in Merritt, who looks out to the open side. The captain's leapt forward. Heppel, 55 from home, just pushes back off the mark and then drives one into the hot spot. Where's the big man? The front spot, Jones! Wearing the headband, takes it 20 metres out directly in front.
I love this kid. I reckon he's going to be a star. Seriously, he's got all the attributes. He's a good look, great frame. If he can get more possession as his career gets going and take him on, he reminds me of Vanderhaar for some reason. I don't know what it is.
We love it when he runs and launches at the footy, Robbo, no doubt about it. Game 23, still very early on his career. This should be like shelling peas. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. The 1.5 minute mark of the second term. The Bombers get the first of this second quarter. They're 5-4-34. The Gold Coast Suns 4-2-26. That's all on the Triple M Repco scoreboard. Show your card and save this month at Repco. Driven by passion for over 100 years.
Yeah, it was really good patterns from Jones, and probably everyone in here at Marvel thought that footy was going to go to Peter Wright. It was posting up out of the goal square and calling it in long, and Jones just ducked in front, had a good launch at it, and the Gold Coast defenders were stuck under it and got a good run and jump at it. And as you said, he's going to be a player for the future. I've got a lot of time for him.
And look at the spine in their forward line too, Brucey. The fact that they have 2 metre Peter and Jones and Stringer and a couple of other talls in there. When they win possession, they've got plenty of options.
That's it. And Jones has been injured for the first half of the year as well. He just having that second key is really important to their forward line.
Back in the middle. It looks like Caldwell was holding onto Touk Miller, and the umpire pays advantage. It's Ainsworth inside 50. Long kick for Day and Chol. Essendon free kick because Chol had popped it through, but it's not going to count, and Zirk Thatcher is the beneficiary.
How late was the call on advantage?
Bizarre.
Players look like they'd stopped. Anyway, it's gone on to behind for the Suns. The back outside of that man. Breaking the game's record, should I say, this evening. Swallow from 70, pops it into the hole. The big leap day. Front and centre, lurking Holman, claimed in the tackle by Redmond, and illegally disposed of. Great stuff there by Redmond. He'll get the free kick in the right back pocket. 3 gone second term. The Bombers leading this by 8 points.
Always got the good suntan, Swallow, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, it's got a great nickname, too.
We'll keep it off air. On the wing, it's Collins of the Suns who finds Ballard by hands. He's in trouble. Umpire pings him. So Dylan Shield plays on. Chip into the centre square to Andy McGrath. Links up again with Shield. Doesn't have many options, so swings onto his left. It's a shallow entry inside 50, but it's marked. And it's once again that man Jones. Bites off a short one to the pocket. And the mark is taken by Nick Martin, who kicked the very first goal of the game.
Just watching the Essendon forwards, as soon as that mark came on the wing, they all just screamed back towards goal and made the field big, and the Gold Coast defenders were scrambling. Their work rate forward of the footy has been phenomenal this today so far, and Jones is the beneficiary here.
If Harrison Jones can get his hands on a lot more ball inside 50, they're going to be hard to beat.
Picked up in the supplemental selection period. In his debut season, he's missed just the one game. For his second goal, it's not going to be one. And the Suns are able to repel Swallow with the kick out of defence.
Defensive 50, Casbolt goes toe-to-toe with Ridley. Shields did well, knocked it to advantage. Stringer shakes off the would-be tackler, fires towards goal.
Strong.
And misses to the right-hand side or behind. They'll take the advantage here immediately. The Suns, Bowes. He's got Ellis in the right back pocket. Essendon 5-4-34, Suns 4-2-26. Triple M Repco scoreboard. Show your card and save this month to Repco, driven by passion for over 100 years.
Heath, Rankin seems to have been pretty quiet so far today, has he?
Yeah, Isaac Rankin, just the 2 disposals, yet to have an effective kick so far.
So mopping up for the Bombers is Hind. His handball is errant. It's straight to Miller, who goes inside 50, off the hands of Day, dribbles over the boundary line, about 70 metres from the Suns' goal. The Bombers leading this one by 9 points at Marvel Stadium.
How's the tank on Miller, but also the speed? To have the combination of both sets him apart.
He's renowned as probably the hardest working mid in the entire comp, and you can see it firsthand here today.
Joshy Bruce, Mickey Roberts waxing in the back row today for Seabus Super, making hard work pay off as Martin takes the mark at left half back. Just stopping, not a lot on offer, so he's to go sideways on the 45. Shield, what are his numbers so far, Heath? He's been busy.
Dylan Shield, 10 disposals, 5 already in this term.
Goes down the line, hard up on the boundary is Caldwell. Not spoken about his tagging effort last week as he goes over the top. Heppel has to beat a couple. Lemons knocked out of his mitts. Well done by the captain, Heppel. Out of bounds, 60 around from the Bombers' goal. Radio dial.
Dylan Shield expecting their first child with his wife Georgie Williams, daughter of Choco Williams. A little bit of fun fact for you there, mate.
Nice. Bruce, you've been doing some reading.
Back in the GWS days, me and Dill used to live together.
Oh, perfect.
So from the boundary throw in, Lemons just has it stripped off him by Stringer. Miller once again gets his hands on the footy. He's been good so far today. Out the front of Ainsworth, tries to paddle in front of him. Eventually picks it up, sells some candy. Long kick going forward. Joel in best position. Can't take the grab in the third season through.
Great defence.
The Suns move to 4-3-27, 8 points behind the Bombers, who are 5-5-35, 7 minutes into the second term on the Triple M Repco scoreboard.
Geez, he did well not to give away a free kick there, didn't he, Mickey?
Yeah, but Joel had that ball in his mitts. Dropped it.
Hind, right half back, drives one. Jones there, so do Phillips, but well done. Good strong grab taken by Graham. 195 centimetres, 96 kilos. Decides to go backwards on the 45, Lacocious. And he was laconic as he puts it onto the chest of Rao. 70 from home, gets called to move it on by the umpire. Goes right, then left, onto his left boot. Casbolt the target. A little push in there. The umpire was late, but he called it. So they'll relieve the pressure again in defence here, the Bombers.
Just a little predictable at the moment, Gold Coast going to the top of the square or about 35 out. What they did in the first quarter, they've got to be energised. They've got to have a lot more options, eyes up, get some more targets.
It's a concern so far for the Suns. Only their big men have scored goals. They need to get their small forwards into this contest. We're on the wing, and the Bombers move it away. Caldwell, long kick looking for Phillips. He should take the ground. Takes it. He was running with the fight.
Talk us through it, Robbo. That was almost comedy hour.
Well, not comedy. The big fella just had to keep his eyes on it, and you'd be running back like that, and it's 3 tiers. And it would be caving in on you. The noise and the crowd getting closer. He did so well to keep his eye on the ball and going with the flight again. You don't know what's coming at you. That's courageous.
Normally you could turn your shoulder a bit and have a look, but it was directly over his melon.
That's a beauty.
So Phillips from directly in front after an impressive mark for a big man. Pops it straight through the middle. He kicks his first. It's the Bombers' 6th. And they are 14-point leaders here at Marvel. 41 plays 27.
An effort like that too deserves that goal. Good stuff.
He looked like a bit of a baby giraffe when he was kind of taking a few steady steps. Didn't know where he was going, but yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful kick. And he just outworked Jared Witts going forward.
Red Z's, Eve.
Red Z leading stats. Just talking about Essendon transition. 13 chains have started from their defensive 50. 5 of those have resulted in inside 50s. All 5 have resulted in scores so far. Number 1 team in the comp by a distance for scoring from defensive 50 so far. Essendon over the past month already scored 3 goals from that source today.
And the reason why they were able to get that ball in, 2 metre Peter made it a contest on half forward. It spilled Caldwell in.
2v1.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how Phillips and Draper work over Witts here, because they got 2 big men against essentially the one. So we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the game.
Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream hot water. Miller left it behind. Caldwell and Shield.
He's having
a handball. Then just runs his full measure. A long left foot ball. Jones couldn't quite.
Would have loved to see him take another bounce and break the paint now.
Yeah, we've got the boots to do it. You've got to be able to play with them. Serious.
So ball out of bounds, deep in attack here for the Bombers. They lead by 14 points. That's all on the Triple M Repco scoreboard.
Jesus, rare you see him come straight out the front of centre bounce like that with absolutely no defence.
Yeah, the seas just parted for him, didn't they? As the Suns win this clearance from inside defensive 50. Shield got his hands on it. It was smothered. Umpire spotted a push in the back. It should be the Bombers' way. And I think it's going to go to Merritt. No, it's going to Snelling. So it's a tough shot at goal. He'll be kicking it from the paint. But he's directly in front.
McGrath, Snelling and Merritt, they all look the same.
They do. I actually still think that's Merritt. It looks like Merritt.
Snelling doesn't want to take the shot. Looking for Martin. Goes over everyone's heads. Jones picks it up from ground level, and it looks like Lemon who's going to walk it away.
Lemons, inside out ball. Chol was clean. A little don't argue as well. He just steps around. Look at the class of the big man as he wobbles one down. Guelphy box seat. Takes it uncontested on the broadcast wing. 12-minute mark of this second term. Bombers leading by 14. We might go Choice Hotels around the grounds quickly, Heath.
Yeah, D's kicking away. 16 points to the margin there over Port Adelaide. Cossie Pickett, 4 goals in that one.
He says with a wry smile as Jones launches at the pill. Ground level Lemon's got it out only as far as Langford. A high ball. It's straight up the chimney. Phillips! Oh, he climbed over top. The big man. It would have travelled about 3 metres. He took the mark, but the umpire says play on, and we'll have Stacks on the mill. A ball up, 30 out from the Bombers' goal.
So Phillips wins with the ruck work. To Stringer, around the corner, goal! Jake Stringer, that is a classy finish. He was 40 metres out, didn't have much time, but his trusty right boot sees it sail through for a major. The Bombers are 7-5-47, Gold Coast 4-3-27. Bombers kick away again.
Was that a talk?
It just looked like, it was just a rush kick straight onto the boot, and it was a bit of a wobbler, and lucky enough to go through, and he's just such a powerful athlete. He doesn't need much time to...
One step.
And just goes, thanks for coming. Little half wobbler, straight in.
Yeah, floater.
This is reminiscent of the first term, boys. They kicked the first 4 majors of the game. They've kicked the first 3 of this second term.
Well, once again, it almost looks like Gold Coast are a bit flat. I mean, once a team gets that head start on you and then you fight your way back to level pegging, and then the other team can go again, and that seems to be the pressure of it. And Ethan's just passed me a nice little stat here. The Gold Coast pressure's right off with 130 on the pressure factor, mate. You love the pressure factor, don't you? That's pretty low, isn't it?
It's about as low as it gets, to be honest.
Yeah.
So climbing over the top Draper for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Out into the path there of Langford. They'll take the advantage. Merritt. Little 1-2 with Martin. Back to Merritt from 60. Drives the ball in the hot spot. 2 metre Peter couldn't get a fly, and Graham spikes it out of bounds. Left forward pocket for the Bombers.
What are the clearances this quarter, Heath?
Clearances this quarter, Red Z Landing stats 4-4, but contested ball all Essendon +6, 17 to 11 their way.
So it's a boundary throw in. Draper takes it inside forward 50, hits the post. It was a crafty piece of ruck work. And the Bombers move ahead by 21 points on the Triple M Repco scoreboard. Show your card and save this month at Repco, driven by passion for 100 years.
It's a jungle down there. Phillips and 2 metre Peter and Jones, and wow.
As they work it around in defence, Collins has got an option wide in Graham. Takes it at left half back. Just over 10 minutes left in this second term. A zealous little ball there from Graham. Finds its way to Fiorini. Spins the ball in his hands and he's looking for the switch now. Goes back inside D50. Finds Collins. He's got Lemons out in the open side. He puts it in his path and he runs onto it. Takes the chest mark. Plays on now. Markov riding shotgun. Treads the boundary. A long right football up to the 50. Chol had to work his way to the front. And there was Miller there as well, picking it up. Swallow, his handball cut off. Langford left it behind. Goes back, gets it to Heppel, Redmond. And now Snelling. Shocking ball off the outside of the boot. Didn't see Day there, and he's coughed it up.
So when Gold Coast fell off the pace in the first quarter, they've done exactly the same as the second, as we've teased. They've got to find a way. So their spearhead's got them back. Let's see if other options come into the game before half-time to level this game out.
And Sam Day's a senior player now, and he's got the distance here. This is a huge kick.
So Day to stop the rot, to get there first of this second term. He hits it from 53. It's got the journey, and it's got the accuracy. Day gets his first, and just what the doctor ordered here for the Suns. They're 5-3-33. The Bombers 7-6-48. 15 gone second turn. Triple M Repco scoreboard.
Another option, another pair of hands, another big bloke down there, Sam Day. So switch hitting as well. So Chol's coming off, but Stewie Jew's going to throw this around. If they can get some little blokes involved inside 50, they'll claw their way back.
I think just Snelling just tried to be a little bit too cute with the footy there, coming out of D50, a little dollop of a kick across the face of goal, and that's the half opportunity the Suns needed to hopefully get momentum back their way.
It was almost like a little Gaelic pass, side of the boot. Very strange kick. Yeah. Sam Day kicks his first. One of 3 inaugural Suns still on the list, with Rory Thompson and David Swallow, who equals the game's record today. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy, it's the Bombers by 15 points. And the umpire's going to throw this one up again.
Just joined us. 2 goals to 2 metre Peter. 2 goals to Chol. 2 goals to Casbolt. The ball's back up. Draper down. Crashing through Rao. Wanted it, got it to Rankin. A high right football inside 50. Numbers with the Bombers. Now at the front and centre. Hind gets it up to Redmond. Handball out wide. Langford back to Redmond, who's run on. Arches the back. A right football to half forwards. Beautiful for 2 metre Peter. He takes it 70 from home. Left half forward. He looks up now. Teammates streaming everywhere. Sends it into the pocket. Hobbs versus Lukosius. And Lukosius gets the right fist in there, out of bounds, left forward pocket for the Bombers.
Redmond running off half-back shouldn't be allowed. That's the intensity that we're talking about. That's fallen right off. They've got to find a way to get all that excitement back into their game. Otherwise, Essendon could actually blow this away by half-time.
So boundary throw it inside the Bombers, forward 50. Handball from Merritt goes back outside 50. Now it's in the hands of Hind. Long kick, it looks across the face, and it sails through for a behind. Bob Jane teammates, Nat, what's happening down there?
Yeah, Jai Caldwell's just come to the bench for the Bombers, just having a breather, but it does mean that Tuke Miller is out there without his tag, so could free up the co-captain a little bit.
As we see a 50-metre penalty going the way of the Suns, Bob Jane teammates look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cash back on all top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today.
Markoff long and strong inside 50. Ainsworth with a flyer. Redmond claimed immediately by Rankin, dropped the pill. Pressure moments here. Zerk Thatcher had it knocked out of the midst. Important ball to win at ground level. Couldn't get there, Oye. And then Redmond outside 50. Jones tracking the footy. Ballard on his hammer. And just pushes him out of bounds right half forward for the Suns.
Smart from Jones there, just taking the footy out, letting it cool the Jets because they're under the pump there inside 50. Allows them to reset, get a stoppage, get their structure back because there was no one ahead of the footy there for the Bombers.
18-minute mark of this second term. Suns 5-3-33, trailing the Bombers 7-7-49.
Boundary throw in. 70 metres from the Suns' goal. The umpire's going to see it thrown up once again.
Hey, Will, that Zerk Thatcher's got a bit of a ring to Dirk Dick, I reckon.
Son of Margaret, I think.
It's Rowell who wins the clearance, puts it to the pocket, and the man,
there is Margaret.
Zerk Diggler, takes a nice defensive mark in the pocket and plays on.
He'll get that now.
Margarita.
He hit the indecisive there from Diggler. He goes out. And then Ridley belts it outside 50. Quelfer did well, competed hard. Ball fell to the back. He goes back and Bowes seeks comfort in the boundary. And the umpire says Tony Deliberatore.
Tony, yeah. So just on that, on the deliberate rule, you asked me about it earlier.
Yeah.
So that was a clear one when he paddled it out of bounds. So it's not efficient attempt to keep the ball in. So he clearly wanted the footy to go out, and it's the ones we get frustrated about are the ones that are missed kicks, I reckon, that are missed kicks. They come off the side of the boot, and the guy's clearly not going for it, and they...
Or you tackle, and then the ball slings straight.
Yeah.
Langford for the Bombers puts it inside 50. It's a mark, and it's to big Peter Wright. Collins puts his arms out in frustration because Wright had so much time and space, and it was just easy for him.
I'd love to see that on the Harvey Norman. Why Collins had given him so much space there. That was far too much leg rope far on the open side. But it's that inside kick that really allowed it to open up. And beautiful hands from Peter Wright. Jesus, he's in form, isn't he?
Triple M Harvey Norman replay, last chance to receive a bonus gift card on selected home appliances at Harvey Norman. As Wright comes in to kick his third, it's not going to be, but it sneaks through for a behind. And now accuracy is starting to become an issue for the Bombers. They're 7-8-50, leading the Suns 5-3-33, 20 minutes into the second term on the Triple M Repco score.
And as a player, there are times where you do want to kick it out of bounds. You know, you do deliberately want to put it out there, but you've got to put it close enough to a player that you can be allowed to get away with it in a sense.
Turnover for the kick in. Snelling was taken down by Fiorini. He didn't have the pill. The umpire lets it roll, and we'll have a stoppage left half forward here.
The height in the Bombers' forward line, though, is a real problem for Gold Coast. They're kicking to hands.
Witts with the tap. Durham paddled it to Merritt and then handballed out wide. Rao, clever. Got it to Miller. Down the line, through the hands of Casbolt. McGrath out the back door. Got it to Redmond. Handball inside. Diggler. Handballs it up. Now Hine. Plenty of time and space at half back. Takes a couple of bounces. Didn't even need one. Handballs it wide for Martin. Up to Merritt. Looks back. Didn't have anyone riding shotgun. Into the corridor. Kelly. Hine. Takes him on. Look at him go, the little man. And then he takes something off the pick. Straight down the throat of Draper. 25 out directly in front.
And he loves it too.
So this is what we were talking about with Draper. He was resting forward there. And Phillips had gone into the ruck on Jared Witts, so they are really stretching them defensively with Peter Wright down there, Jones and the resting ruckman, and they're looking really dangerous. We saw Phillips kick a goal. We're seeing the big Drape have a shot on goal, and love that from Nick Hines, lowering the eyes and hitting the forward instead of blazing away and having a shot.
He lopes in the big man. Oh, straight as an arrow. Oh, he loved it too, didn't he, Robbo? High fives for the big Drape. And the Bombers, they kick away. They're fourth of this second term. They're 8-8-56. Gold Coast 5-3-33. 22-minute mark of the second term on the Triple M Repco scoreboard.
I'm just watching Hine come off the ball. He was the one who ran off half back. He took 3 bounces in 8 steps. He's just got to, as you say, don't even worry about that. He actually took them on and had enough time and patience to find Draper. And as we said, so big. They're coming at all angles, out of the pocket, out of the square. So you've got big hands on a lead, going to be hard to stop.
And those two are the ones, Redmond and Hind coming off a halfback. They're just absolutely slicing through Gold Coast defence. I don't know what their numbers are, Heath, but they're chopping them up. And Hindy, he came from the Saints. He's one that the Saints have let go, and they'll be ruining that because he's been a superstar for the Bombers.
Yeah, Red Z leading stats. They're the two leading players for metres gained on the ground. Nick Hind, 12 touches, 5 running bounces. Mason Redmond, number 1 ranked player with 16 touches.
Nice little clearance there for Witts. He finds Ainsworth, who was so prolific last week against Richmond. He'll put it inside 50. It's a kick looking for Day. It's now a contest with Diggler. It's off hands. Left foot snap from Fiorini goes across the face.
I tell you what, I hope Redmond kicks a goal because I think his nickname's Red Dog, and he always does the Red Dog ears celebration.
Yeah, he
runs around with the puppy dog
the
ears.
big horns.
So
Yeah.
he'll run off with that.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a Kelpie.
The big red dog.
The big Red Dog.
As Ridley leaves the defensive goal square, and then last one outside 50. Draper with a big sticky jukes, takes it to right half back. Phillips and Wicks hit the turf, and Drape just climbed over top with the one pluck.
This is starting to become a real worry for the Suns, I reckon.
Height.
He goes down the line, Guelphy. He's done that a lot of times, Guelphy. Just snuck away from Markov, takes the mark, gets it to Shield. Handball goal side for right. A little inside kick, Stringer, couldn't quite. Played for the free. Little don't argue from handball, couldn't stick it. It's got to be holding the ball, and is. So they'll settle here right on defensive 50 with Anderson. 4 minutes left, second term. The Bombers leading by 22 on the Triple M Repco scoreboard.
We know how important Witts is to the Gold Coast Suns. He's getting worked over by Draper and Phillips. They're double teaming him.
That is an ugly kick from Anderson. Guelphy was the first to meet it. And the umpire spots a free kick. And it looks like it'll go the way of Guelphy. So a lopsided free kick count. Another one goes the way of the Bombers. Shield runs away from a few Suns. Handball inboard to McGrath. He handles further inboard to Redmond. This will go inside 50. It's a low darting kick onto the chest of Langford. Directly in front of goal. Langford, who kicked 4 last week, will line up for his first, and it's very gettable.
It was the other side of me. I'm on the inside play. If there was. Yeah.
Panic stations in the Gold Coast box, I would have thought. And the kick inside 50 from Redmond on the Harvey Normans. It was a low darting pass, and not much a defender can do about that when you're marking it already on the way down to ground level.
Cole Langford, a career high 4 goals last week, signed on until the end of 2026 for the Bombers. But that's a disappointing shot. It was extremely kickable. And Essendon extend their lead to 8-9-57. The Gold Coast 5-4, 34, 25 minutes into the second term, Triple M Repco scoreboard.
Essendon have had 25 inside 50s for 18 shots.
Run too far.
Oh,
He's run too far out of the goal square, played on. He had to get round Stringer, so he took a couple of extra steps, so shot on goal.
Almost ran to the 40, Robbo. The set shot here from Stringer is going to be from 45, so he's left the goal square. He ran to about 40 out, didn't take a bounce, and Stringer the beneficiary.
Yeah, but good signs from Stringer too. Like, there's days where Stringer wouldn't actually make that effort, and he has now. He's been rewarded.
He's kicked one already this evening, Jake the Snake. And this one will really hurt the Suns. He's hit it pretty well. He loves it. Jake's got 2. And the Bombers, they skip away 9-9-63. The Suns 5-4-34. Triple M Repco scoreboard. Look at some of the Red Z lending stats, Heath, and then Choice Hotels around the grounds at TIO.
Well, it's Essendon's inside 50 efficiency so far. 26 inside 50s for 19 shots. This quarter alone, 13 inside 50s, 11 shots on goal. Almost every time they're going in, they're scoring the Bombers. And Choice Hotels around the grounds. Melbourne 25 points in front there. 5 minutes to go. Cozzy Pickett, career high 6 goals from him now.
What would the AFL average be for scores per inside 50, would you say?
It's about 40%.
And what are they going at? Not 90 odd?
Well, it's 11 out of 13 now, so yeah high 80.
That's incredible.
I'm sure the coaching staff at Essendon are at Stringer to make those efforts. It's just reward. He's copped a free kick and he's goal. There's the Potter goal for him.
Another free kick out of the middle. And this is going Essendon's way. Merritt, handball to Hind. He's in trouble. That should be holding the footy. Umpire lets it play. just Draper snaps it out of the hands of Rankin, wins the footy back and puts it onto the chest of Heppel. Umpire says it's a push in the back, so he'll get the footy. And the Bombers, everything's going their way.
What are the frees, Heath?
Free kicks, Red Z leading stats so far. 19-6, Essendon's way.
Heppel on the Toyota logo, broadcast wing. A long drop punt. 2 metre Peter came in through. Oh, beautiful front centre from Hobbs. Runs into space. Pulls the trigger and misses to the near side.
That was that dead shoulder. He couldn't drop the...
He tested it out earlier in the pocket. He had a real marking contest right above it. He did look a little bit ginger coming down, but good to see him back out there.
It's the Bombers by 30 now on the Triple M Repco scoreboard. Don't forget, built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a room.
About 90 seconds remaining in this first half. Heppel, another inside 50 for the Bombers. It's Graham who wins a massive fist onto the chest of Oyar. That kick looking for Witts, goes over his head. Draper picks it up, takes on a couple of Suns, takes on 3, and then just tosses the footy in the air.
He didn't even wait for the whistle. He just knew that he was cooked.
Like he was tossing the bouquet. Holman puts it inside 50. It's all Bombers there. Oyar picks up the footy, tackled by Laverde.
Down.
Shield. And it's Kelly who walks it over the boundary line, but he won't be penalised. Ball in about 30 metres from the Suns' goal, who are desperate for one.
I think Oyar is my favourite name in the AFL
Oyar.
at the moment. It's fantastic.
Somebody give me an OER.
Joel is down and has not got up, and he's in pain too, so doctor's out to him.
Just looking on the Harvey Norman, he got absolutely tunnelled straight into that contest.
Didn't he? What?
And that should be a free kick every day of the week. He made a great contest though, 3v1, so the boys will get around him for that.
He didn't get tunnelled, he got shoved.
Yeah, it was
serious
outrageous.
shove.
And you can see Stewie Jew in the Harvey Norman, he's absolutely blowing up that it wasn't one. Looks like he's done a diaphragm or a rib there.
He's sucking him in. He was on his knees for a long time, but he says, I'm going to stay in the park, boys. Tough stuff there. So we'll have a ball in left forward pocket here for the Suns. Witts in the ruck, taps down. Kelly did well. Worked Rankin off the pill. Now Merritt out to Durham. Snaps it around his body outside 50. Hobbs. Good spoil. Now right. Taps it into the path of Hobbs. Look at him go. And then the Shepherd there from 2 metre Peter was good too. Guelphy has it at half forward. Sends it into the hole. Jones sliding in. Takes the mark. 46 out. 5 in from the boundary.
I love that pattern from Jones. He was resetting back towards goal. And then the kicker was under pressure at the footy and couldn't get it over the top, so he's just pointed back at him, pointed back for the little duck back lead, and he's hit it perfectly, and it was a nice little lead.
And Shields just run in and just said, calm the farm. Just go back, get the oxygen back in the lungs, and just go back and kick this. Just settle everything down before half-time.
Yeah. 9 goals, 4 for the year for Jones, for his second for the night. A little hop and a skip. He blasts it from 50, right on the siren, across the face.
Don't think it scored.
And it hasn't scored. The umpires will confer here on the Harvey Norman, I think. We're going to have a quick chat here, the boys.
Score review. Umpire's call is no score. Can we please check to see if the ball crosses the line line?
Walk us through it, Robbo, on the Triple M Harvey Norman before we go to the break.
I'm looking at a replay here, and I reckon the ball's actually got over the line, so...
Maybe just.
There's nothing in it.
There's a millimetre in it. We can see about 90% of the pill.
Given we're guaranteed a close game by Ethan on the red
There's
zone.
insufficient evidence to see if the ball's crossed the back of the behind line before being knocked back into play.
There's absolutely nothing in that.
So insufficient evidence there for the umpires. So it will be the umpire's call here up on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay. And the umpires confer and they say there will be no score here. So at the major break here at Marvel Stadium, it's been a significant quarter for the Bombers. We've got a couple of goals for 2 metre Peter. Goals to Martin, Durham, Stringer. And on the other side, Chol and Casbolt have got a couple for the Gold Coast Suns. But the Bombers will go in here at half-time, 9-10-64. The Suns 5-4-34. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
that quarter for Repco. Show your card and save this month at Repco. Driven by passion for 100 years.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. Minutes. Two minutes. One minute. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
3M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. One battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
Half-time break here for Bosch Power Tools. Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. One battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee. It was really tight at quarter time, Essendon by 3 points, but here at the major break, they've kicked away and they lead by 30. Josh Bruce in the house this afternoon with Mickey Roberts in the back row, and this man doing it all on the stats, as always, Ethan Meldrum.
Well, Red Z leading stats, just a procession offensively from Essendon. We know the number two scoring team in the past month. Only the 15 inside 50s in that second quarter, but 13 shots on goal, 8 marks inside 50. AFL average for those stats, 44% and 23% respectively. But 13 out of 15, 8 out of 15. Huge numbers for the Bombers. 5 goals, 6 they kicked in that quarter. Could have been a hell of a lot more. Led by Mason Redmond, 17 disposals. Zach Merritt, 17 as well. Andy McGrath, 15. Dylan Shield, number 1 ranked player on the ground with 14 disposals to half-time. 6 of those contested. Mason Redmond, 442 metres gained to half-time as well. Big numbers from him. For the Suns, Noah Anderson, been valiant, 12 disposals. Took Miller, 12 disposals, 4 clearances as well.
Beautiful stuff, Heath. Brucey, it's really a game of efficiency inside 50 from the Bombers, isn't it?
Absolutely. Every time they go in, they're scoring, as Heath said, and it's they've just got an array of options down there now. Obviously, with the big fella, 2 metre Peter down there, and Jones is just adding that different dynamic to the forward line, which we've kind of missed this season. And then you've got the double teaming on wits of Phillips and Draper, and one of them are floating forward, and they've both kicked a goal that quarter. So it's definitely some danger signs for the Suns, especially with the key position prospects. And from a Gold Coast point of view, their forward line, it's just been Casbolt and Chol that have scored. I mean, the Smalls just haven't even had a sniff. Rankin's barely touched the footy. Ainsworth hasn't been involved. And, you'd really want them to get involved more in the second half.
Speaking of the big men, Brucey, you think the ruck battle is starting to tip in the favour of the Bombers? We know Witts is such an accomplished ruckman, but he's up against it.
Absolutely, yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm sure Witts is probably winning the hit-outs, but it just seems like around the ground, just because of the running prowess of Draper and Phillips, it seems like it's come from the box, and they've had a plan during the week that they're just going to stretch him, and they're stretching him forward. So whoever's playing on him in the ruck, they're making him run forward, and then they're swapping over. So they're really working him over, and he's so integral to this Gold Coast outfit. If you've got 2 really dangerous ruckmen that the Bombers do have, it's been a really good ploy from the coaches.
Let's look at the player matchups for SKG Radiology. Radiology now bulk billing on all Medicare rebatable services. We talked about a couple of matchups in the pre-game. Brucey Collins on right. You can't really hold Collins accountable. He hasn't had much of a chance out there this afternoon.
That's right. I mean, the service has been fantastic, and they're coming out the front of stoppage, which is the main thing. So as a defender, you want pressure on the footy. The number one thing is you want pressure on the footy, which allows you to defend or allows you to intercept mark, but the ball's just come straight out the front of stoppage. Essendon players are shoulders out, breaking the pain, and then the forward can do whatever they want. They can lead back to goal. They can come back at the leg. There's just so many options. As a defender, there's not much you can do. And Peter Wright's definitely got the chocolates so far, but we know that Collins is a true competitor, and if the pressure improves, I'm sure we'll see the big Mustaki of Collins get up and about.
I tell you what, boys, we've seen some interesting halftime entertainment over the years. I mean, we're seeing something very extraordinary down on the ground right now, aren't we, Willie?
Yeah, they're racing babies down there in the goal square.
There's a baby race in the goal square. The Bombers faithful. They got the babies down there. The parents are calling for the babies to come to them, and whoever gets to mum first wins, I think, Wilbur.
Well, after I saw the greyhounds get banned in New South Wales, I thought this is an interesting new development, the tradie baby race.
Live baiting.
Yeah, there's a few sad babies down there in the goal square.
This is the halftime break for Bosch Power Tools. Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools, 1 battery corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee. Heath will go around the grounds now for Choice Hotels. A big win by your boys earlier today.
Yeah, a couple of fist bumps in the box, if I don't mind me saying. D's by 14 points over Port Adelaide. Cossie Pickett, the star in that one, 6 goals in that. Connor Rozee, again, really impressive. Most coaches' votes in the competition in the last 9 weeks. 33 disposals and a goal for him. But the D's now a game clear in second spot behind Geelong in first. So they're ahead of Brisbane and Fremantle at the moment.
And you were at a game earlier on today at the MCG between the Hawks and the Eagles. Can you give us a bit of insight into that one?
Yeah, Hawks by 25 points over West Coast in that one. Josh Ward, very good, 34 disposals. His previous career high was 20, so well and truly blitzed that. But Luke Bruce, 6 goals, got the 3 votes from Nick Revold in that one. Equal career high for him.
Robbo, we might go to you and just touch on that game again last night, the Cats and the Blues. It was a big game for the Blues. They knew they were up against the best in the competition. How did they fare?
Well, Geelong were just a class above, I reckon, with all the hype, and it was going to be a final, and both coaches put it on the line as well. Michael Voss was very strong about toughness at the football. It was going to be a challenge and a test, and Curnow got some early goals, and I just thought that they were alive at one stage, and then Geelong just showed how classy they are. They've got so many mature heads on every line. They've got leaders on every line now, and they were able to be dominant. Even Stanley, with his mobility and agility in this modern game, Blitzarves outran everyone, and they decided to attack. They played the MCG so well. They're so acclimatised to it as well. So they've got a good state of mind, mentally and physically. And with Stewart coming back, who's their gun player, he's the best in their back six. Could even be their best player. The head-to-heads, they butted heads in the midfield. Cripps and Dangerfield and Selwood and all that ran around, but they were too classy and they picked the eyes out of it, and they're the best side at chipping a ball inside into their tall forwards. And the Tom and Jerry show, as I said, Jeremy Cameron, his agility is outstanding, and he is going to be a force. He's a star now, but he just proved to me how good a player he really is.
That's the male model in the back row, and I tell you what, he's coming into the painted jeans today, and he still makes them look good. That's how handsome this man is, Mickey Roberts.
There's
in the back row today.
Left.
Boys, it's time for our favourite segment, halftime segment. Amy Clangers, who covers Clangers on and off the field. Amy does, and this is how it played out in the first half.
It's Graham who wins a massive fist onto the chest of Oya. That kick looking for Witts, goes over his head. Draper picks it up, takes on a couple of Suns, takes on three, and then just tosses the footy in the air.
He didn't even wait for the whistle, he just knew that he was cooked.
Like he was tossing the bouquet.
I tell you what, boys, we see the big men, they're in awe of the little guys. They sometimes just try a few of those things out, and old Drape's just got a bit lost in his step there.
But once they're done, they're really done, huh?
Yeah. And they can't stop either. Once it's a mistake, it's a big mistake. It was pretty funny from Big Drapes, and we've seen Chol dance around a few blokes, and Drapes tried to do the same.
They found those babies yet? Have they got them all?
I don't know.
The baby Bombers?
Very strange stuff. Half-time here at Marvel Stadium, and it's the Bombers by 30 points. Josh Bruce in the back row with Mickey Roberts, Ethan Meldrum on the stats, Willie Ralston and Timmy Solly calling the action. Nat Unides down on the boundary for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. One battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
From Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Till Triple M rocks footy. Till Triple M rocks footy. till Triple M rocks footy. Seconds till Triple M rocks footy. Seconds till Triple M rocks footy. Seconds till Triple M rocks footy.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Foxtel. 4K Ultra HD. The best way to watch AFL. Only available on Foxtel.
Half-time here at Marvel, and it's the Bombers getting it done at the moment by 30 points. 2 metre Peters standing tall with a couple. And on the other side, Chol and Casbite have got a couple apiece. The scoreboard this quarter will be brought to us by Foxtel. Feel closer to the action with Foxtel's 4K Ultra HD. Watching sport has never looked so good. 4K Ultra HD, the best way to watch the NRL, AFL and F1. It's only available on Foxtel. Robbo, how does this one play out as players get out into their positions?
Well, time is against the Suns now. They've got to try and win this game. So we all know that Essendon, the Heights got hold of the Suns, and not only in the forward line but also around the ground. And because they've got possession of the ball, they're determined to run, and they're running in waves, so they're getting in yardage as well. So they've got to find, the coaching staff of the Suns now have to find a way to win the game. Don't wait till the last quarter. It's got to happen now. So somehow they've got to open this up, destroy the Essendon to actually get them on say, level pegging at three-quarter time and see if they can win it.
Yeah, I reckon it all starts with their defence. I mean, they're just simply not defending the entries enough. They're not putting enough pressure on the ball carrier, kicking it in there. The Bombers are coming out the front of stoppage, and the marks inside 50 are telling. I mean, it's 12 marks inside 50 to 3. So it's all going to start with the defence and the pressure from the Suns.
Josh Bruce, Mickey Roberts in the back row for Seabus Super. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Heath, just quickly, Choice Hotels around the grounds need to beat break. Book direct and save with Choice Hotels earlier today.
Yeah, D's by 14 points over Port Adelaide. Hawthorn 25 points over West Coast.
So the third term for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. The Suns clawed their way back from a big deficit last week, and they're going to have to do it again if they're to win this one over the Bombers. Shield from the middle. Essendon leading by 30 points at the main break. And they have the ball in hand. They chip it wide on the wing to Kelly. Originally omitted last week, but with Redmond going out for the COVID protocols and Kelly playing such a good game on Charlie Cameron up there in Brisbane, he's maintained his spot on the list. Here is that man, Mason Redmond. Big first half for him. Ethan Meldrum on the Red Z stats.
Yeah, 18 disposals, most on the ground. 448 metres gained as well.
Inside 50 off hands. Langford around the corner. Touch through. And the man on the spot was Jack Lukosius, and they had the first score of the second half. It's a minor.
This is close too.
Check it out on the Harvey Norman, you reckon, Robbo?
This is close.
So Ellis with the kick-in duties. Lefty a radio dial. He decides to go the short option to Miller. On the 45, he handballs back to Ellis, who treads the boundary and now exits defensive 50. Casbolt in the front spot, just got one paw to it. Front centre Kelly had a strip. Rankin just held on too long. Just didn't see the ball slip out, Rankin. Just dragged him to the turf. Kelly will have it in front of the interchange gates.
Heath, what's Rankin's posies?
Isaac Rankin, just the 3 disposals so
I
far.
wonder if he's had a rev up at half time.
Kelly inside 50, Ellis flies. Flanders at the spill, got the handball up. Now they'll exit the 50 through to Lemons. Oh, the big fly, Kelly! Got a fist to it. Rode beautifully by Anderson, but it's a messy ball down the line. Made it hard work for Chol, out of bounds. Just attacking side of this broadcast wing for the Suns. They trail here by 31 points.
McDonald's 100% Aussie Angus beef and chunky tomato relish. Catch a mighty Angus at Macca's today. Ball comes in centre wing. Phillips wins first hands. Rankin starting to get himself more involved in the play. That snap from the clearance goes up the line. Off hands is Durham. Handball misses everyone. Miller picks it up. That's a nice handball looking for Ainsworth. Big Redmond sends him into the grass. And it's going to be a ball up 50 metres out from the Suns' goal.
That reminded me of State Origin on Wednesday night. That did. Huge.
Durham from the stoppage. Big looping handball wide. Made it hard work for Lemons. He's just manhandled across the line by Stringett.
So the Gold Coast coaching staff, what they've done early is they've brought Rankin up from the forward line and they're bringing him up to support the stoppage. So he's playing as an extra mid in the stoppage here, trying to get him involved in the footy, which is probably a good move considering he had none of the footy.
Just saw the reaction on the bench to that Redmond tackle. They loved it down there as Flanders has bumped off the pill. Phillips, Merritt, handball wide. Caldwell, he's got Tuke Miller on his hammer. Got the kick away and it was 7 metre perfect for 2 metre Peter. He takes it 80 from home, wheels immediately. Long driving ball into the hot spot. Big one-on-one, Langford there. Ball to the back, Graham. Happy to track it out of bounds. Deep in attack here for the Bombers. We'll travel 3 in this third term. Essendon 9-11-65, leading the Suns 5-4-34. Triple M Foxtel scoreboard. 4K Ultra HD, the best way to watch AFL, only available on Foxtel.
So Bombers in attack. Phillips only gets it as far as Anderson, and it's marked again by Redmond, who's had a very impressive game. He plays on straight away, but sends it sideways, and that's his worst kick so far. Hands of Lukosius. He's got not much ahead of him. Ball smothered, manages to win it back, but only kicks it as far as McGrath, right in the centre of Marvel Stadium. Merritt handballs backwards, and Ridley has a kicking option further afield.
And guess who? The Red Dog, out on the outer side.
Well, he went to go long before and then pulled the trigger and sort of half kicked it.
Neutral territory on the outer wing, and he decides to just nurse one to half forward through the hands of Heppel, then Snelling. Clever little back turn. You heard the umpire. Graham took it, knocked out of his mitts, and he's driven into the turf. He'll get a free kick here, Graham, in the left back pocket.
You can sense the Suns, though, are committed now. They're actually playing committed footy.
Yeah, they are. They've slowed them up. They've been able to slow up their defence and been able to stop the rot.
Markov, he's got Day on centre wing. Has a height advantage over Laverde. Once again, the only options ahead of him are tools from the Suns, and he does very well. Chol bumps off Zerk Diggler. Handball wide to Swallow. Into the pocket looking for Ainsworth. Had him initially.
You've got to hold them.
It was a gimme, Robbo.
You've got to hold them. If you're going to get back into this contest, that is just... Your eyes are on it. Your mitts are there and you drop a pud.
Caught one on the chops and dropped it.
As Wicks down, Durham lurking. Miller bumps him on the kick. He puts it out to grass. The foot race is on. Well done, Lukosius. Looks into the spine but coughs it up into the hands of Merritt. As we welcome our Victorian, Tassie and South Australian listeners. It's Essendon leading by 31 on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
I can't get over that mark. Does a watermelon be covered in pips?
So Merritt tried to find Heppel, and the ball ended up back in his hands. This is Snelling, back to the lookalike in Merritt. He's running up the wing. This will go right to the edge of 50. Caldwell managed to break free of Tuke Miller, and he plays on looking for Martin, goes over his head. Very well done by Flanders not to interfere. Martin just pushes him off. Handball back to Langford. He could have a shot at goal. Manages to bite off. A very clever kick. and it's in the hands of Jake Stringer directly in front, 30 metres out, and he'll line up for his third.
Oh, I just walked back too. He's pinned the ears back. He's got the shoulders back. This is the package. Loves it.
Loves the strut, doesn't he, the big boy?
He kicked 2 very handy second quarter goals, Jake Stringer.
Just a clever kick from Langford, isn't it? Just summed up his options. Found a spare player inside 50. It's beautiful.
6-time club leading goal kicker for 2 different clubs, of course. Jake Stringer comes in. He's kicked his third, and we have a game-high lead of 37 points. The Bombers, 11-11-77, ahead of the Gold Coast Suns, 5-4-34. That's 6.5 minutes into the third term here on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
Josh, am I seeing that Stringer looks a little bit more comfortable in his own skin? Like a month ago, I reckon he's actually looking footy fit now. It's taken him probably a month to sort of even get that physical stature.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that tends to happen when you come off injury as well. And we know Jake's had his issues with soft tissue injuries and whatnot over the years, but he's such a naturally talented footballer. And when he's up and about Essendon, he just makes Essendon such a better team. But, you know, what a momentum swing. Ainsworth probably should have swallowed the mark. Definitely should have swallowed that mark in the pocket and had a shot on goal, and goes down the other end and potentially snuffs out any chance they had in this game.
So Bombers 10-11-71, Suns 5-4-34, game high 37 as Draper out of the middle, handballs to space, Hobbs paddles it out. They both just ran past it there. Hobbs goes back and finds it, up for Caldwell, handball wide behind. Now he's got Martin in space, can lower the eyes, puts it back into the spine. Numbers there with the Suns, ground level, Ellis claimed in the tackle. Good solid tackle, Guelphy. We'll have a stoppage, 40 out from the Bombers' goal.
Screwing the ball back into the middle is always tough like that because there's always midfielders coming in and wingers coming in and filling the space.
Josh Bruce and Mickey Roberts in the back row. Swallow from the stoppage, throws it to Wicks on the boot. Zerk Thatcher brought it to ground. Redmond just knocks it forward, lays a big bump, knocked over Fiorini. Hine, tight rope in the boundary. Merritt, handballs out for Martin. He'll just run to 50 and send it to the top of the square. Who's there? Ball to the back. Jones lurking. He's right next to the behind post. Take it down. Still in play. It's a hot footy to be won here.
That ball, seriously, was a metre out. It was in the pie stand.
BT would have been having a field day. That was out of bounds.
So, deep in attack here for the Bombers. Draper down. Ball to ground level. Rao under pressure. Ball came loose. He goes back and finds it. Matty Rao on his knees. Unsure of his options. Ellis. And then a daring diving stuntman effort to knock it over the line by Swallow.
It's living in the D50 of Gold Coast at the moment, isn't it? Repeat entries. They can't get out.
But a couple of clearances and then all of a sudden Gold Coast are chasing jumpers again. You're looking at numbers. It just changes. Momentum changes just in a flash.
David Swallow in the back pocket for the Suns. They need to get this rolling because it's become a very dangerous lead of 38 points. Lukosius, handball back to Bowes. He's got Miller inboard. This kick goes high to the wing. It's a 2-on-1 and it's easily plucked off by Laverde. And the Bombers still in control.
That ball had to be brought to ground. There had to be a physical contest, and that ball brought to ground to give him a chance.
Yeah, well, Laverde's the one who's playing spare because Rankin's gone up to the stoppage and clearly having an influence there as the extra number.
As they build their way down the outer side here. Heppel, long left foot ball, 2 metre Peter box seat, brought it to the front. Stringer, roves, snaps, and across the face. End on end and out of bounds in the opposing pocket.
How's his confidence now?
He's up and about. He's a big confidence player, Jakey, and we saw a couple of weeks ago when he won the game off his own boot at the MCG, and that just seemed to really get him going, and he's been in good form the last few.
Ball spins back into play inside Essendon's offensive 50. Miller on hands and knees tries to handball up to Witts, and they're under all sorts of pressure. Ethan on the Triple M Red Z stats.
Yeah, it's living in Essendon's forward half, as Josh was saying. 8 inside 52. Zach Merritt, 12 score involvements, only betted that once in his career.
Swallows kick smothered. Stringer tries to manufacture one himself. Ball comes outside. Defensive 50. It's well taken. Mason Redmond right on the paint. And he looks like he's backing himself for the journey here.
I reckon he'll be running around the man on the mark here and playing on.
So you have Laverde out marked on the outer side, and now you got Redmond Another contested mark. Half-backs doing what they want. The rucks are doing what they want. And their spine's doing exactly what they want.
Yep. And I love hearing that about Merritt. I mean, he's copped a bit of flack about playing a defensive half game, but 12 score involvements halfway through the third. Good to see him getting dangerous.
It's not a great kick from Redmond, but it's into a dangerous position. Suns have most of the players there in the pocket. Guelphy ushered over the boundary line by Ellis, and we'll have another ball in.
Bob Jones team, Nat, what's happening?
So Ben Hobbs is out there now, but he did start the third term down in the rooms, obviously getting a little bit of treatment on that shoulder. Not too sure of the extent. Of course, he'll need to go for scans during the week.
Joshy, how much juice do they put in?
In the AC?
Yeah.
A fair bit, couple of mil, yeah. But it's one of the jabs that really works, gives you a lot of pain relief, but when it wears off after the game, that night in bed, oh my God.
But do they whack another one in? Like he has had the first injection, do they whack another one in?
They would have done another one at half time, or if it gets sore. Yeah, he'll probably need it for a few weeks, and he won't be able to do bench press for 2 months.
Deep in attack for the Bombers, off the ground Lemons. Ricochets out, Hobbs, slung 360 in the tackle. Rankin handballs to no one in particular. Shield cuts it off, handballs wide for Langford. Snaps back to a dangerous spot. Ellis dropped the mark, should have taken it under pressure. And now Langford around the body from 30s, a high up and under ball. And Jones got a mid in there, knocks it through for another behind. They move to 10-13, 73. Gold Coast 5-4, 34. We've travelled 12 and a half in this third term. That's all on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
Couple of important drop marks there. Ellis in the D50 and Ainsworth in the forward 50. Looks like they're just feeling the pressure of the Suns.
It's now a 39-point lead going Essendon's way. Redmond once again gets hands on the footy, and it's an important touch. Durham kicks it backwards, but that's terrible.
Oh, no.
Looking for Laverde. Holman does well, gets a high tackle. And they have numbers in the forward flank if they want them. One is Oya, one is Rankin. Isaac Rankin takes an easy, uncontested mark. 45-degree angle.
That was get out of my way. I just need to touch the footy.
Get out of here, young fella. It's my turn.
And that was two players. That wasn't Will getting excited.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't just Rankin getting an oh, yeah. That was oh, yeah.
And Rankin, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's taking the mark.
So that's it. Oh, yeah. That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
Can they get up? Oh, yeah.
Isaac Rankin, 5th in the AFL for goal assists, but he hasn't done a whole lot today. From 50, doesn't strike it well, and it'll just sneak through for a behind. The Suns 5-5-35, trailing Essendon 10-13, 73, nearing halfway in this third term on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
For our Vic Tassie and SA viewers, Stringer's got 3, Wright's got a couple. And they're doing it comfortably here by 38 points as Wicks hard up on the boundary, sends a left foot ball back in. Joel box seat, couldn't bring it down. Front centre Rankin, couldn't stick it. Caldwell worked off it, so too Hobbs. Rowell dives on top of him, locks it in. We do it all again on the attacking 50 here for the Suns. Reds heads.
Yeah, that was at Isaac Rankin's set shot. Gold Coast first disposal inside 50 in 21 minutes of game time.
Flanders shakes the tag, gets it out to Anderson off a step, sends it goalward, but it's out to the right. He's missed everything. Didn't even register a score. Margin still at 38 points to the favour of the Bombers. We're at 14 minutes into this third term.
Bob Jones, team Marts, Nat Unides.
Just on Isaac Rankin, came out of isolation, COVID isolation on Tuesday, so has had a full week of training, so no excuses there.
For Bob Jones, team Marts.
Brutal.
Bob Jones, team Marts, look after you. By 3, kept on 3.
I'd be knackered.
Wow,
Umpire spotted a holding the ball, and it's going the Bombers' way. It's Guelphy on the left half-back flank. He's got Merritt short. How's he gone on the Reds End lending stats so far, Heath?
Zach Merritt leading ball winner, 25 disposals and 12 scoring involvements.
Shield, he's also had a ton of it, goes inside 50. Off hands is Jones, well tackled by Collins. And the umpire's going to ball it up near the boundary line, 50 metres out.
I love it when a big pack forms and then about 4 or 5 big blokes are just skittle. They take half an hour to get up.
Yeah, bowling pins.
Ellis, high up and under outside 50. Zerk Thatcher, the Dirk Diggler on ground. Brings it to ground level. Merritt, left foot ball up inside 50. Ball off the hands. Well done, right. Hobbs front and centre. Inside out, Boonana, and on the last line. Knocking it through for a minor score was Markov, and he wants to get on with it here. He pumps it back outside 50, and he's got Anderson.
Noah Anderson, the hero of last week. That's a biting kick, and it's going to be intercepted by Essendon. Merritt now. His 26th touch. Sends it to his lookalike Snelling.
There's two Merritts out there.
Yeah, and then he'll kick it to McGrath.
So Snelling on centre wing. He's got the former Crow Kelly. A short kick back to Merritt, who's brought his own Sharon here to Marvel today. Merritt's kick is shallow inside 50 for the Bombers. Suns have the numbers. Collins with a tumbling kick back the other way. Flying high is Casbolt. Kelly now. Handballs back to Redmond. Short kick. Bounces to Shield. Handball to Zerk Thatcher.
Zerk Thatcher on the Toyota logo. Squirts one out wide. Half forward. It's Snelling. Then he darts a low little rod onto the chest of Langford. 53 from home, closed down by Merritt, but did well. Oh, he's called not 15. Hobbs heard the call. Handball's boundary side. Martin managed to keep it in and then spits a short one. Out the back door, Draper picks up, met in the heavy tackle. Oh, yeah. 20 metres out from the Bombers' goal. Red Zed's East.
Zach Merritt is bringing his own share in 11 disposals in this quarter alone. Mason Redmond as well with the 9.
What are the inside 50 count this quarter, Ed?
Inside 50s for Red Zed leading 13-4 Essendon's way this term.
Anderson shuffled over the boundary line by Snelling, and that's about 25 metres out from the Bombers' goal.
Jake Kelly, I've known him ever since he was a baby, seriously, and he's got a job on Rankin now, and he's doing a great job. He's being tested because he's playing forward. He's usually down in that back pocket somewhere, so he's upfield, in amongst the stuff, and he's doing a good job, Kelly.
Martin, handball to McGrath, right foot snap, it won't have the journey. In the goal square, Collins forced to do a lot of hard work at the moment. Kick looking for Casbolt and Scholl. Laverde, handball to Zerk Thatcher. This is Guelphy now. Again, 12th touch of the quarter for Merritt. It's an inside 50 that should just bounce over the boundary line. Bombers leading this one by 39 points. 6.5 minutes left in the third term on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
Essendon is playing the classic front half game here. Gold Coast just cannot get the footy out of their defensive half. The wall of Essendon defenders and midfielders just setting up is just a brick wall, and it just keeps coming back in, and they're going to break soon.
Ground level ball at the stoppage. Fiorini scraps one about 7 metres off the chest of Answorth. Front and centre Merritt. He's getting a touch of leather poisoning out here as he goes backwards, finds Heppel right next to the centre circle. They're retreating here. The total control of this footy match as Heppel, long driving one into the hot spot. 2 metre Peter, couldn't quite. Off hands, ground level, Snelling, gang tackled Collins. And we'll have another stoppage 30 metres out from the Bombers' goal. Earlier today, Choice Hotels around the grounds, Heath.
Hawks by 25 points over West Coast, and the D's 14 points to margin over Port Adelaide.
Draper breaks free. A big fist. Now in the hands of Jones. Breaks a couple of tackles. Left foot snap. Superb.
He's a beauty.
Jones kicks his second, and it's just about goal of the day. It could be the heartbreaker for the Suns with their season on the line. It's now 45 points, 11-14-80 ahead of the Gold Coast, 5-5-35 late in the third term.
When he starts filling out a little bit more with that sort of tall, skinny frame, he's going to be a sensation, especially when he gets a few of them down there to support him. So Harrison Jones kicks his second, and it's Strutt and Rutten too. The coach down there just going up and down, magnificent. Everything's working for the Bombers.
Yeah, it's hard. It's one of those ones we've just been saying the ball's been living inside Essendon's forward 50, and it can be hard to score when there's just repeat entries and so much congestion. What I really liked there was when Draper, he cleared the area with the ruck stoppage. He got a fist to it, cleared the inner area, it got out, it spilled out, and allowed Jones with a little bit more space to have a shot on goal, whereas the congestion and in tight stuff, it's quite hard to score.
Back in the middle for McDonald to Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Shield with the clearance. Handballs over the top to Caldwell. A long driving ball. The big timber there and right. Couldn't quite. Front centre though, Guelphy. That was clean from the pocket. Puts it back to a dangerous front. Streeter pulls down the mark. 25 out. Tough angle.
Oh, they're winning in every spot in the forward six. They're controlling the half-back line, so they've set up a wall and they're clearing. They're clearing. The midfield are just doing so well.
The midfield's just coming straight out the front of stoppage. There's absolutely no defensive layers from the Gold Coast from a stoppage point of view. And Guelphy with the Boonana from the right pocket all the way to Stringer on the left pocket.
Champagne footy here by the Bombers. Stringer for his fourth.
Oh.
Misses to the near side. One behind. They move to 11-15-81. Gold Coast 5-5-35. It's on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard. Don't forget, last chance to receive a bonus gift card on selected home appliances at Harvey Norman. Shop in-store or online.
Bowes from the goal square. They really need to get something going here, the Suns, or it's going to be too little too late. Here's a start for Casbolt. 8th in contested marks in the AFL, and he took a nice one there. Sideways chip to Ellis. His only option is Bowes on the corner of the centre square.
Well, they've got nothing up forward. I've just watched that Rutten's got every player accountable. They're playing the old-fashioned footy shoulder to shoulder. There's no zoning.
Yeah.
It's your man and that's it.
Yeah, one-on-one footy.
So the only options upper field were Witts and Casbolt, and it comes off hands out of bounds.
Mickey, it's easy to forget, the Bombers played in the final last year. They were in the finals last year, and obviously they were such a disappointing start. I mean, what do you think it is?
Well, it's just mindset. It's the fact that they've got to get back to this sort of stuff. And now that they're actually dominating in a lot of possessions, their structure and their plans are starting to work.
Martin streaming forward, puts it onto the chest of Peter Wright. Broadcast wing, right foot ball now into the pocket. Big one-on-one to win here. Markov and Guelphy. And the ball beats them both out of bounds. Some of the Reds Head lending stats, Heath.
16 inside, 50s to 4 this term. Essendon's way. Remarkable. They're plus 90 in disposals, but Gold Coast plus 17 turnovers despite that little footy.
Reds Head lending loans for the self-employed. Deep in attack. The ball spins in. The ruckmen go to work. Wicks takes it out of the air. Just passed it to Ballard, who was met in a heavy tackle.
Sorry, Timmy. They almost had too many talls. They had 2 metre Peter Draper and a couple others all running into that pocket at one stage.
Yeah, a few of them been flying for the same footy.
Hobbs left foot snap. It misses and it was touched, so it doesn't matter. It goes through for a behind for the Bombers.
It's an interesting one. I mean, they came into the season with such big expectations on them, didn't they, the Bombers? And maybe because the pressure's been lifted because they can't make finals now. They've freed themselves up mentally and they're able to play their game. It's interesting, isn't it? Because they're looking absolutely dynamic the last month.
With 3.5 minutes remaining in the third term, the Suns really looking for a late goal to keep them just within touch. Flanders has it for the Suns in the centre circles. His kick goes wide. He's got Fiorini. He's got a fair bit of space to work with as well. Long kick from Fiorini to the top of the goal square. Casbolt's there, but it's a 3-on-1. Bombers able to work it out through Ridley and Redmond. Nice smother. And dribbles through for a behind. The Bombers are 11-16-82. The Suns 5-6-36 late in the third term.
Joshy Bruce, Mickey Roberts in the back row today for Seabus Super as Hind. Little short stabbing ball onto the chest to Merritt. Still deep in their defensive 50 here, the Bombers. Just controlling every aspect of this game. Leading by 46 points. Now Redmond. Long right foot ball to the broadcast wing. Graham front spot, had the arms chopped. No whistle by the umpire. Hobbs and Draper lay the tackle on Rao. We'll have a stoppage on this broadcast wing.
I was just going to say, let's see how easy it is for Essendon to get out of their back line and then, bang, it's already on the wing position.
So Draper spiked the ball about 30 metres, but he disposed illegally of Witts in the process. So free kick on this broadcast wing. The body language doesn't look good out here for the Suns, does it, boys?
So every Sun is covered. When he looks up, with every Sun is covered going inside 50.
It's pretty rare you see a real one-on-one defence like this, isn't it?
So Witts, it's an awkward left foot ball. It's going to work out. Holman couldn't stick the mark, and Rankin just hip and shouldered across the line by Hind. They're winning all the one-on-ones at the moment.
We spoke about it pre-game. I mean, it was such an emotional win for the Gold Coast last week, and all this talk of finals and stuff, mate. They've just been that little bit flat today, haven't they?
Draper, only as far as Merritt. He's having some sort of quarter, and he kicks it again off the ground. Ballard does well to get front position in front of Snelling. Takes a chest mark. 2 minutes remaining. Doesn't go inside 50. Looks for Flanders, goes over his head, and that sums up the quarter so far for the Suns as that ball goes out of bounds.
Just wanted to explore that a bit more, Brucey. They did win last week, but they had 2 losses the week before that. So have you got a bit of a false read on the Suns here?
No, I don't think I've got a false read. I just think those close games are really taxing emotionally games. You lose one or a goal, it really takes it out of you. And then they finally have the big win, the relief, the win after the siren. And it's almost like a big release emotionally. And it just seems like today that maybe it's taken a toll on them a little bit.
As the footy's on this broadcast wing, down in front of our lady at the moment for Bob Jones T-Marts, Nat Yanidis.
Yeah, just talking about Andy McGrath, who's having a pretty good game, 18 possessions so far, 2-year contract extension for him for the midfielder. Actually brings him out of contract just as he becomes a free agent. So that's going to be one to watch in the next couple of years for the Bombers. They'll want to be keeping him.
Sharp stuff from you, Nat. Bob Jones T-Marts look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today, bobjane.com.au.
All of that while there's a scrum inside Essendon's forward 50. We'll have a ball up. It's Essendon 82, Gold Coast 36. Essendon in cruise control at the moment, late in this third term. Advantage to the Suns, and Swallow walks away with it. The kick goes to Oya on the wing.
Ainsworth going.
He's got options ahead by foot and hand. Handballs wide to Fiorini. Short one to Ainsworth. Well done in defence by the Bombers. They break it up. Falls back in the hands of Fiorini, who just pops it straight into the chest of Langford. Takes an easy chop-out mark.
Whoever's down, great spoil half-back.
Could be Dirk Diggler, I think.
Yeah.
Geez, that's a good sign for Essendon. That fast break defence, to be able to break that up and stop it when it's full tilt advantage, open side, running back towards goal, to be able to stop that, that's a really good sign that the team is on, and we clearly know that, and that'll be highlighted during the week for sure.
So
he's had the suitcase punched out of him.
Time with ball in hand. Thatcher in the hands of the trainer and physio. He's back to his feet as Hine drives a long ball to the tall timber. Jones front spot. The spoil came. And it's going to go the way of the Suns. Witt's the beneficiary. Right on defensive 50. So dying stages here of this third term. And it's been convincing here by the Bombers. Stringer's got 3. Jones has got 2. Big 2-metre Peter's got a couple. And they've failed to fire a shot in this third term, the Suns. We talked about it at half-time. They needed to come out and have a big premiership quarter, and they've failed to deliver. They're going to go into the three-quarter time break here, trailing by 46 points. And there is the three-quarter time siren. Essendon 11-16-82, leading the Suns 5-6-36. Josh Bruce and Mickey Roberts in the back row for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Foxtel. 4K Ultra HD. The best way to watch AFL. Only available on Foxtel.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
100% Aussie Angus beef and chunky tomato relish. Catch a mighty Angus at Macca's today.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. 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 1 minute. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'Triple-M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services, and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
Three-quarter time, Marvel Stadium, and it's been clinical stuff by the Bombers, as Robbo and Bruce here pointed out. They're playing one-on-one footy out there today, which is something we haven't seen in the modern game for a while, and it's really working for them. They led by 3 at quarter time, 30 by half time, and they've extended their lead here at three-quarter time by 46 points. Before we go to Brucey and Robbo to break it down, we'll go to our man that knows all the numbers, Ethan Meldrum on the Reds.
Just more dominance from Essendon, 18 inside 50s to 7 in that quarter. You'd argue they should be further in front, the Bombers. 3 goals, 9 from general play, 3 goals, 7 from that 15 to 30 metre range. So they've missed a lot of easy opportunities as well. 46 points to the margin, looks pretty flattering at the moment. Start with Zach Merritt, 34 disposals now, 17 alone in that third quarter.
Wow.
Also had a career high 13 scoring moments, only three-quarter time. He's been dominant so far today. Mason Redman as well, number 1 ranked player on the ground, 28 disposals, 588 metres gained, 10 intercept possessions as well.
If I had to put you on the spot, what would you guess the most disposals in a quarter would be for this season, would you reckon?
For this season, be pretty close. I'll look that up shortly. I know the most in a quarter all time. I think it's Jared McVeigh. He had 20 disposals one time. So Zach Merritt pushing it pretty close there.
Yeah.
Reds Ed Lending, loans for the self-employed. Don't forget, built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a ream, I should say. Oh, a little brain fart from me there, Willie.
Oh, yeah.
Good form. Oh, yeah. Boys, in the back row, we've got Brucey and Mickey Roberts for Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Boys, how does this last quarter play out?
Yeah, well, Ben Rutten, he's just peeled the onion back. He's just decided, okay, I'm gonna tag Miller. They're gun on ball, and they've made everyone accountable, especially that back six. So call it old-fashioned. I know the Suns, if you have an old-fashioned, you're going to have a headache. The Suns have got one right now.
And they walk it out of the middle through Luke Miller, do the Suns. They trail this one by 46 points, and it would be a miracle, much like last week, if they're to win it from here.
Someone's down. Hasn't moved.
It's a Suns player.
Casbolt, is it?
Looks like it might be Casbolt. He's not in this contest. Deep inside forward 50. Ridley taking in a tackle, and will be a ball up 40 metres out from the Suns' goal. That you need is, can you see anything that's happened
open
down there with Levi Casbolt?
Absolutely nothing. I've got my glasses on and it's still too far away from me.
There we go.
He's had a face plant.
Face crunched into the turf on the Harvey Norman.
Face plant, which can make you dizzy, but also clear it out of your nose.
Hind wrapped up in the tackle by Flanders. Little back turn from Oyar, and he falls on the turf. McGrath. Zerk Thatcher slaps boundary side. Shield couldn't quite. Now Martin. Left foot ball. Did well. Got it forward about 15. Clean by Stringer. He handballs over the top, but Martin wasn't in the field of play. Right half forward for the Suns. Early stage of this final term as Big Levi comes from the ground. Nat, how's he looking?
He's bleeding from the nose at the moment. So, half of it is obviously his nose. The other half might be embarrassment.
Bob Jones, Hemas, McCarthy by 3. Get 1 free instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today, bobjane.com.au.
Markov and Ballard link up by hand. Day, centre wing, forced to play on. Dumps it inside forward 50. It's another outnumbering by Essendon. Ridley looked like he took it. Holman tries to pick up a loose footy. He and Ainsworth getting in a confusing situation. Back to Miller. Hot shot at goal. Just misses. First score of the final term goes the Suns' way, 5-7-37, trailing the Bombers by 45 points, 11-16-82. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services, and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
Big Levi, he's copped a face plant, seriously. They've had to get about a yard of turf out of his nose. It's been bleeding. They're checking his teeth.
He looks like he's in the UFC with a cut man.
Yeah.
The big pads up there. And
it's
getting
not
the Vaseline on it. He'll probably come out with it all taped up, you know.
Yeah.
You get your nose taped around your head. Jeez, that's the worst.
It's not pleasant. Just getting your scone buried into the green stuff.
Ball in, right half forward Suns, over the back of Witts, coming through Merritt, couldn't quite. And now Caldwell, claimed in the Miller tackle. Ball locked in, umpire hovers for a moment, and then he calls holding the pill. So set the tone here, the umpire, Miller. They've just got a little bit of a pulse here, the Suns. They're a long way back as Miller goes into the pocket, Shoal flies. A bit heavy the kick, and then Rankin ricochets off his shins and out of bounds, right forward pocket. So just travelled 3 minutes in this final term. It's 11-16-82, the Bombers. Gold Coast 5-7-37. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Inside the Suns, 4-50. They didn't kick a goal in that third term and only one in the second. They'd love to get on the board, and the umpire is going to see this ball up right in front of the Suns' goal.
And they can't throw their arms in the air. They've got to show the footy world they're 8-8 and aiming for a spot in the 8.
So a smother. And Essendon are able to rebound. Hind. Long kick looking for Langford up on the wing. Infringement by Ellis. And so it's a Bombers free kick on centre wing.
Langford out there. Ellis pleads his case with the umpire. It's good to see they're not paying those 50s now. Players are allowed to at least have a conversation.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, it's really come off the boil, hasn't it?
Yeah. Langford. Oh, beautiful ball. Finds Wright, who handballs off the shield. He can have a pot shot here from 49. Decides to lay it up. Jones couldn't stick it. Front and centre with his Suns players in lemons, and he tracks the footy out of bounds. Red's head teeth.
Yeah, now 48 minutes without a Suns goal. 15-minute mark of the second term, as you were saying, Will. And Zach Merritt, 17 disposals in that third term, equal most for the season. Carl Amon took Miller out there today. Both had 17 disposals in a quarter, back in round 2.
There you go. Merritt had it on a string in that third term. So the Suns try to hack it out of defence. Durham's the first one to meet it. He's right on the boundary line. Ambitious handball, chopped off by Miller. Ainsworth goes the other way. His kick up on the wing, broken up by Kelly. Sees the marking attempt from Holman go over the boundary line.
Really good from your godson there, Mickey. Kelly coming forward, breaking it up.
Well, he had a little spell there, and his Rutten's put him back in, so he's out to prove himself.
Ball spins back in. Witts versus Draper. Witts to the front. Miller's there. Through the hands of Merritt. Anderson tracking the pill. Dropped it in the tackle. Hind threw it up for Caldwell. Umpire lets it play. End on end. Over the header right. Out the back Snelling. Just had his collar ripped off his loaf of bread. And he'll get a free kick. 35 out in a 45-degree angle.
That's 2 free kicks in a row from Ellis. It's potentially costly for him. He's looks like he's just trying a little bit too hard at times and can get a little bit clumsy. He must have got a rocket at 3/4 time, and sometimes it can go too far the opposite way.
This is to put the margin out to 51 points on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Sporting tradies over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services, huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier. Snelling on the runway. He shanks it off the instep. Hasn't even got the journey. The fist came through there from Collins. Nervous moments. And harassed across the line by Jones. Another minor score, 11-17-82. Gold Coast 5-7-37. And we've travelled 6 minutes in this final term.
From the kick in, Lukosius sends a rocket. Almost up to the centre circles. A couple of Suns fly. Neither of them can bring it down. It's now in the hands of Caldwell. Having another good performance. That wasn't his best moment. It lands straight on the chest of Caleb Graham.
Heat, outside 5, player.
So Graham, short one, not good. Gets over the head of Hobbs. Matt Rao finds Lemons. He's got Swallow. Anderson throws it over his head inside the centre square. Dished up by Lukosius, finds Miller, and now he's got Rankin. He can take a bounce. He can take a few, in fact. from the centre square, looking for Chol. One-on-one with Zerk Thatcher over their heads, and it'll go through for a behind. No, it won't, because Zerk keeps it alive.
Gets it out. Little 1-2 with Laverde. And then just handballs it outside 50. Martin. Oh, it's clean stuff out of defence by the Bombers. They work their way out to the outer wing. And Jones has worked his way up. They're crying for him to get on with it here, the Bombers faithful, but he just holds it up. They want that aggressive brand of footy. He sends it down the line now, no one in particular. Out the back, Hobbs got it to Shields from 51. Heavy the kick for right. He was clearly in the lead, just had to chip the kick onto his chest. It was too heavy, and they'll repel the Suns.
So Rankin misses one up one end, and now Shields misses the other, going down the other way.
Essendon's midfield are just absolutely toweling Gold Coast on the spread, running forwards in waves, that outnumbering 3-1, going forward with the footy, which should be the opposite way. Gold Coast just aren't running.
Took Miller's working his backside off for Gold Coast now.
And he's got the ball again, puts it inside 50 for the Suns. Chol spills off his chest. Well done by Kelly. And the Bombers are able to repel once again. And it's Ridley who takes the mark on defensive 50. Casbolt and Chol have kicked 2 apiece. Sam Day, the only other goal for the Gold Coast Suns. They've only managed 5 so far. And we're almost 8 minutes into this final term.
And you've got to give credit to Essendon, because the Gold Coast are throwing absolutely everything at them.
They are, yeah.
And they can't score.
The defence is just holding up. I don't know what the scores are per inside 50 for the Bombers, Eve, but
as Wright sticks one, 55 from home. We'll get to you in a moment, Heath. As Wright winds up, long, strong, out to the left. And a minor score. 11-18-84. Gold Coast 5-7-37. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Heath.
I tell you what, when the petrol gets out of Houston, the fatigue sets in. The bigger blokes for the Bombers will set their sights again.
Big contest on the wing. It's Martin who reads the ball off hands. Handball to Snelling. Caldwell. He's got Langford. Hasn't kicked a goal yet today. And he still hasn't. That one fades wide. 11-19-85 now the Bombers. 5-7-37 the Gold Coast. It's become a bit of a procession. Suns aren't able to link up by foot. And Ethan on the Red Z Lending stats, what have you got for us?
Yeah, just 11 shots at goal from 37 inside 50s for the Suns. AFL average 44% for going inside 50 and having a shot on goal. So Gold Coast well below the AFL average today.
Phillips pickpockets the footy from Charles, sends it back inside 50. Free kick against Stringer. Brucey Robbo, some of the player matchups for SKG Radiology, now bulk billing on all Medicare rebatable services. Some of the big matchups and who's won those today.
Well, I like Phillips first. Yeah. Hasn't he played a game?
Yeah.
Big fella just taking them on, and that's brought the other big blokes in. Obviously, Caldwell's done a job on Miller. The curbed him. Miller's worked his backside off, as I said, to get back into the game in this last term to get some credibility.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lemon's down the line.
I was just saying, I think the Bombers' key backs, after getting a touch up early, they've really fought back well against Chol and against Peter Wright. Obviously, Ridley down there. We've got Zerk Thatcher, who's played a really strong game, so they've really held up strongly after a shaky start.
Caldwell to the fat side, Wright flies again, off hands, Anderson front and centre. Clever little back turn, crowded space. And he handballs wide, Fiorini. Handballs out to Ellis, snaps around his body, a high up and under, Redmond box seat, and Day kills it out of bounds. Left forward pocket, Bob Jane Seamart snap. Haven't got it, we'll get back to her shortly. Left half forward here for the Bombers. 10-minute mark of this final term. And they lead by 48 points as the ball's back in. Out the back door, Witts goes. Rao there, Witts on his knees, shoveled it forward. And then Hind in the tackle from Rao will have a stoppage on the outer wing. Ball back in the air. Tap down. Wicks just tunnels it forward. Gains about 20. Redmond dropped it in the O-yard tackle. And now Hind slung to the turf. Didn't get boot the ball. Free kick, Suns at right half forward.
Holman forced to play on. Handball short to Flanders. Little chipping kick. That's beautiful. That's the first time we've seen them do that in a long time.
Yeah.
And he finds Lukosius directly in front, about 40 metres out.
And Rankin should have done that about 3 minutes ago. Ran in, eyes up, and then bombed it to the square instead of just finding someone.
Lukosius, such a beautiful kick of the footy, but he actually struggles with set shots, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
One of the nicest strikers in the game, which shouldn't be a problem for him, and it isn't. Straight through the middle. So the Suns 6-7-43, their first goal in a while since the second term, in fact. The Bombers well ahead on 11-9-85. 12 minutes into the final term for Triple M at Beacon Trade.
Just a lovely, great tackle there from Holman. And then just a lovely inside 50 kick here. Just a little dollop straight to Lukosius and goes back and slots it. And definitely one against the grain. Bombers have been all over him in the second half. And Lukosius with a beautiful finish. It's just a gorgeous kick at the footy.
Well, on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay, last chance to receive a bonus gift card on selected home appliances at Harvey Norman. Shop in-store or online.
Yeah, they've got to go again now. They just can't sit back and just go to the tape. They've actually got to go another goal and then another one just to show that they're up and about and they deserve the 8 wins and 8 losses.
Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Draper down Hobbs. Fain the handball should have given it.
Great tackle.
He was taken down. No reward there for Rao. Handball's up for Miller. Loopy handball over the top. Sets up Markov. A left foot ball around the body. Couldn't quite get to Holman, but he's going to get the free. 48 metres out. 60-degree angle.
Limping, but playing in front.
He handballs off to Miller from a walk. Sends it high and long. Charles there. Little brush off. Casbolt flew. And out the back door. Fortuitous lands with Day.
Everyone just flew for the footy and Day was at the back. And
he stayed down.
Fell in his arms. It's his lucky day.
Good from you, Brucey. I like that. Need something here. 48 points down. The Suns. Day has kicked the 1 at the 15-minute mark of the third. And he slots his second. Gold Coast have got the first 2 of this final term. They move to 7-7. 49, Essendon 11-19-85. Triple M, Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well, there's just something, Timmy. They've got back-to-back goals. Haven't done that for a while. And the fact that they do have to make a statement in this last term. The only way they're going to do that is to actually just keep scoring.
And Red Z Lending Stats, he called it a few minutes earlier, Robbo. Took Miller having a huge final term. I think he wants his record back for disposals in a quarter. Already had the 10 disposals 14 minutes into this term, halfway through. So he's having a big final say. Took Miller.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I mean, Caldwell's still tagging him, obviously, but he just seems to have come off the boil a little bit. And on the premier midfielders, if you give him an inch, you can see what he's done. Took Miller, and he's just running in waves. That running power, fourth quarter running is just overlapping and going really well.
He's second for the coaches' votes on the leaderboard as Draper runs out of the middle. Handball to Guelphy. Draper sells kick outside of the right. Are you kidding me? It's home. Oh my God! It could be goal of the year from Sam Draper. Extraordinary scenes and marvels. How good is that?
Walking through this, Robbo. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Someone has just pushed his button.
That is incredible. He's grabbed it out of the ruck. He's handballed it, got the 1-2, break the paint, another handball, sidestep, check side off the right foot.
Yeah,
on the wrong
check side, on the run for a big bloke. I was thinking Max Gawn, but that's better than Max Gawn.
Absolutely, that's goal. Yeah, has to be. That is incredible. The don't argue sidestep, and then look at him. He's straight to the crowd. He's nearly jumped in the 5th row.
Well, the Suns,
wow-wee.
They'd pegged it back to 36 points, but I think that...
Oh, yeah, strutting, rutting down there.
First time I've seen him smile, I reckon.
Yes.
That's an emotional dagger to the heart.
That was incredible. Wow-wee.
Bombers, that's been their highlight of the season, just about. A running Sam Draper goal. He's kicked his second.
Oh, if he's not a cult figure now with the long mullet, that goal's put him on the pedestal.
McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Miller's taken in the centre clearance. He got the free. Wants to get and go.
I can't remember a better goal from him.
Mongrel ball inside 50s. Cut off by Ridley. It was a fair goal. Big drapes. He got it out of the middle. He just kept running and a little bit of a shimmy and shake from the big man.
And there was no way he's going to finish on his left. The little check side. Home she goes.
Amazing.
I think Robbo's right. Max Gawn in the finals last year. It's just about the only comparison I can think of.
And I reckon that's got it.
Yep. Bob Jones, Seymour, snap.
That was the first time all game that the Essendon fans have been out of their seats. They absolutely loved that one. The stadium was rumbling.
Flanders long deep. Casbolt flies off hands. And Kelly mopping up. Got a little toe poke towards Hind. And he glazed the big tackle there on Holman at the bottom.
He's still sucking in the big ones behind play, Draper. I think the celebration took it out of him more than anything.
He's taking a rest at centre forward.
His GPS would have blown up, sprinting over to the far wing, celebrating.
Wicks goes with the boot out of that ruck and then socket off the deck. Made something out of nothing, Rankin. They'll go upstairs to the Harvey Norman replay.
That's a goal.
You never see these paid for in danger, do you? If it's on the ground.
That rule's been forgotten about, I think.
So walk us through this one, Brucey.
It looks like Rankin's flushed it just before the hands get there, in my opinion. Yeah.
So it looks like there's no deflection off the boot of Rankin.
Gap between the ball and the Essendon defender at all times. Decision on the scoreboard.
So very clearly stated by the umpire upstairs. You saw daylight there. It's going to be a goal here for Rankin. He's pretty happy with it. A little fist pump from Isaac and a consolation prize for the Suns with 9 minutes left in this one. They move to 8-7-55, Essendon 12-19-91. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Stick Draper back in the ruck. He's running back down to the square. I think he ran up to...
cooked.
Get him back in there, see if he can do it again. It was like he had a cattle prod on him. You know,
well, he tried it earlier, didn't he? He tried it earlier and the ball fell out 10 metres out of his hand. He threw it, he tried to step everyone, and we were a little bit critical of him, but he's proved us wrong.
They're still on their feet. He's gone back down there. They are still on their feet.
Like a fast bowler who's taken a wicket.
Yeah.
He's walked to the crowd.
He's gone
Start
back
giving
down.
the Murph views.
Absolutely.
Stretches.
Yeah.
So it's back to 6 goals. 91 plays 55. The Bombers in front. We've got 9 minutes exactly remaining in this final term. It feels like too big a task, but the Suns have just started to get a bit rolling. Out of the middle, it should be the Bombers who win the clearance. Hobbs at ground level. Rowell is the other player with hands on it. We'll have a ball up on the edge of the centre square.
3 goals to Stringer, 2 to Jones, 2 to Wright. It's been all the Bombers this afternoon. They're winning this final term, though, the Suns, as Anderson, long and strong to half forward, over the hands of Day, out the back, Holman, ball sits beautifully, shakes one, can't shake the second, and he dropped the ball. Kelly again. He's finding some form in that back line, Jake Kelly, and they'll rebound out of defence through Hind.
Hind loves the running bounce, takes 2 there.
The effort from Redmond as well. I mean, he's had an incredible game offensively, but that defensive chase pressure when the game's essentially won, that's the stuff that earns you respect in the footy club.
Didn't play last week, Redmond. COVID protocols. Didn't make the trip up to Brisbane.
No excuses for that then.
As Shield runs away from this contest, looking to the pocket, it's Draper who had hands on it. And it fell over the boundary line, about 40 metres from the face of the Bombers' goal. They lead this one by 36 points, nearing the halfway point of this last quarter.
Who does he think, Draper, who does he think he is?
Who does he think he is?
He's just woken up this morning thinking, I'm not a ruckman anymore.
I'm Chris Judd. That's who he thinks he is.
And here he is again, the big man, laying a tackle this time on Swallow. Ball out. They all dive on top, Stacks on the bill. Umpire says, give it to me.
Love to see him take mark of the year and goal of the year in the same game. That'd be special.
40 metres out here from the Gold Coast Suns goal as tap down Wicks. Tracking the footy there. Snelling, the Merritt lookalike. Taken to the turf. Can't get it out. Good tackle by Oya. 7.5 left in this one. It's Essendon leading by 36.
Swallow from the clearance. Tumbles it up the wing. Marked easily by Hind. And he chips it laterally. He's got Ridley, who then has Mason Redmond. How's he gone on the Red Z lending stats, Ethan?
Mason Redmond, number 1 ranked player, 31 disposals. That is now 625 metres gained, 9 score involvements for him off halfback.
One of his career best games, I would have thought.
Maybe needs the week off more often, Brucey. Just
yeah, I think
having
so.
a career best game in. Just enjoyed the week off.
I wonder what he was watching on Netflix. I'll have to find out.
Jones has the free kick.
Might have been watching The Last Dance, Michael Jordan, just getting him up and about.
Or Boogie Nights.
So Harry Jones, who's kicked a couple himself, puts it to the pocket. It's high, looking for Phillips. Can't bring it down. Nick Martin's there. Shield handball back to Langford. Now it's with Martin again. Outside of the boot. Should be marked by Collins, and it is.
Top of the defensive goal square, Collins. They should just take the game on here, the Suns. Just roll the dice a bit. They Trail by 36 as he goes to the outer side. Standing underneath that one. And Medi sub on the ground, is it? No, Durham. Ball down the line, out the back door. Hine did well. Puts the Jets on against Holman, then sends it into the spine. Snelling, juggling mark. Right next to the centre circle. He'll look to the outer side, took a couple of steps, and then decides to go laterally. He's got a man on his lonesome, had to sit and wait. Kelly, Holman did well. Got the spoil in, and now he's got the handball out for Rankin. Little 1-2 back to Holman. He got goal side, and then a left foot ball's ugly. You heard the Bronx cheers from the Essendon fans out on the full. And they'll reload from left half back.
Mick Hine, what are his numbers like, Heath? Red Z lending stats?
Mick Hine, this is disposal number 24 for him. 500 metres gain. Only Mason Redmond, his teammate, has more.
So the two half-back flanks for Essendon, they've done a lot of mopping up today. This ball's on the wing. Suns should win it. Markov, chip into the centre square. Swallow can't take it. And this is a chance for the Bombers. Hobbs breaks it up. Merritt.
Here he is!
Here he is! Right foot snap is terrible. And it lands on the chest of Bose, who was in the goal square. He mustn't have seen him, Brucey.
He's got to be the biggest cult hero on the comp right now, doesn't he?
I love him.
They're going to build their way down the outer wing, the Suns. Wits, he's got a man at half forward, hasn't spotted him. He stops and props.
Back to regular ruckman programming, that was.
He just nurses a little delicate one in the hole. Ainsworth. Haven't seen as much of him today as we would have liked. His kick's ordinary. And chopped off by 2-metre Peter, who's crept a half back. He squirts one wide for McGrath at centre half back. And he just jabs another one, short one to Redmond. Floats one even further laterally. Now they're at right half back with Laverde.
Back to Redmond. It's starting to get very sloppy now for the Suns.
What have Gold Coast turnovers been, Heath?
Gold Coast dominating the turnovers. It's about the only stat they're winning at the moment. They're plus 22 turnovers so far today. That's while they're minus 97 disposals for the game.
Yeah. Unheard of. Caldwell can't take the mark, but he was interfered with by Miller. And that could be 50. No, umpire had the whistle to the face.
Where was it, Will?
Hand to the face.
You sure?
Umpire Rosebery, he knows the game. He doesn't give those ones away.
Edge of the 50. Should come the other way now for the Suns. Rankin's got Chol.
Kick.
Lovely kick. Doesn't break stride. Chol looking for Ainsworth. It's a foot race with Kelly. Kelly somehow gets in front. He was a mile back. And links up with Zerk Thatcher.
It was just ordinary running there by Ainsworth.
He did well there, Josh Kelly.
As McGrath clears the area, puts it out to this wing. There was no one there. What is the umpire going to say? Throw it in.
Looks like Ainsworth blew a gasket halfway down the straight. He was well in front and then just
stopped.
He's cooked it. Yeah. Well done by Kelly.
So the gas has gone out of this one. Even the umpires just letting a few things roll now. They lead by 36, the Bombers. Ball back in. Wicks to the front. Miller there. Caldwell wearing him like a cheap suit. And then Stringer gets out of the stoppage. Pops one over the top. Arching his back shield. Handballs forward for Golpy. He's got Hobbs riding shotgun. Dubs not to go to goal. And puts it straight down the throat of Martin. 20 metres out on a 45.
Martin just sat in the hole right in front of our cold hero, Draper, who's coming out of full forward like Tony Lockett at the moment. It's unbelievable.
I think the crowd wanted it to go another way.
I still can't believe Nick Martin's debut game in round one.
Yep.
Did he have
5 goals?
5 goals.
5 goals, 27 disposals.
27 disposals. He'll never play a better game in his life.
Not far off it here either. 25 disposals this will be for him too.
Wow.
And he's already kicked the one major at the first goal of the game. Slow, steady approach. The crowd says it all. Martin's got his second. Margin back out to 42 points here at Marvel. The Bombers on fire.
Has there been a drop off in mullets?
Big statement, Robert.
Yeah, has there been a drop off? Because Draper will stick them back on the map.
Nah, they're everywhere. I don't know if you've seen Melbourne private schoolboys lately, but every single one of them rocks the same haircut.
Yep.
What's the celebration he's done here? He's done...
Call the mum.
Call me.
Call me.
Okay. That's getting a bit of a run at the moment, isn't it?
Jack Ginnivan, The old Warren Treadway.
Yeah, yep.
Do you feel like
Treaders is in vogue again. Look out.
Do you feel like the Gold Coast Suns are just lacking that 200-centimetre defender that most of the clubs are starting to roll through now? Collins is a very good defender, but when they send one of those big men back, they seem to struggle.
I reckon they need a couple.
So we're back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Fiorini somehow digs a handball out. It only goes as far as Shield. McGrath sends it wide.
Played well, Shield.
Yeah. Durham links up with Hind. Looking for Hobbs. Reads it well. Goes over the top. Where's Drapes? Short kick. Stringer.
The package. Get out of my way. This is my forward line.
Fill the boots, Stringer. Loves it. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Gold Coast have just had so many injuries this year as well, haven't they? They've been pretty gallant in the back half of the season with a lot of guys going down. And yeah, today's just been pretty disappointing for them.
So Jake Stringer, he's already kicked 3. 45-degree angle. Just about 35 metres out. Strikes it beautifully.
Yes.
Straight through the middle. They go to 14, 19, 103, and they lead the Suns, who are stuck on 8, 7:55. There's a minute and 40 seconds remaining, and Jake Stringer's got 4.
Yeah, well, he's going to fill his boots with the amount of inside 50s, but as soon as Ben Hobbs had his wing done, the left shoulder, and he's probably had 2 goes with the juice, but to guts out a game like that, you know, it's probably not a bad AC, but there's a lot of pain, and as Joshy said, he's gonna feel it tonight.
Oh yeah.
But he's 2 or 3 inside now in the last 5 minutes, set up a few goals. He has been dominant running inside 50.
Mason Redmond as well. Red Z Lending stats, 34 disposals at the moment, sitting on the pine. 34 is a career high for him after his 31 against the Saints 4 weeks ago.
Wow.
Red Z Lending loans for the self-employed. So back in the middle here for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Draper down. Miller had the arm pin. Still got boot to ball. Wobbly Wernburner inside 50 and parked underneath Laverde.
You know what Draper was doing then? He was tapping it to himself
again out the front.
Exactly.
It just got snatched out of his hands. Just got sharked.
He was going again.
McGrath.
The tail's up in it.
Back to the top of the defensive goal square. Ridley. He completes the switch now. Kelly. What are his numbers, Heath? Jake Kelly.
Jake Kelly, Red Z Lending, 14 disposals, but 6 intercept possessions for him today.
It's been strong. Obviously a bit of a wake-up call for him a couple of weeks ago when they considered dropping him, but he's kicked himself into gear, and so have the Bombers.
He's a bull, Jakey.
They're going to win 4 of their last 5 games, the Bombers. They came into this season as hot favourites and reaching the 8. They disappointed early in the year, and they're starting to find some real form here.
All 4 wins against real finals aspirants as well. So it's been a good resurgence in the back half of the year for the Bombers. Draper wins a commanding tap down. The Suns should win the clearance though. Lemons. Kick inside the centre square is dangerous, but it'll work. Lukosius kicked a goal earlier this quarter. That lovely right foot puts it deep inside 50. Holman flies. Rankin stays down. Should get hands to it from the pocket. Loves this position, but not on this time. He hits the behind post on the full. And so the Bombers will rebound through McGrath.
It was the Bombers by 3 at quarter time. They led by 30. As that kick's a bit too hot. It's going to work out though again. Hines. Look at the Pistons pumping. Takes a couple of bounces. A long ride football to half forward. But it's all Gold Coast Suns there as Collins mops up. And he sends it out to the broadcast wing. It's too little and too late here for the Suns. It's been a clinical performance. They will win 4 of their last 5. As the Bombers fans rejoice. They finished 14-19, 103 over the Suns, 8-7-55.
To win the premiership flag. Our boys who play this kind of game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up. We are the teams they don't fear. They'll try their best, but they can't get near as the Bombers fly up.
the tone early, didn't they, Robbo? They kicked the first 4. Gold Coast showed a little fight back, but then they just kicked into gear. It was too good in the end.
And I was waiting for Gold Coast to come back on that second wave, but they couldn't because the height got them. The height got them around the ground and inside 50, so they had so many options. So they went long to the talls, and they did their job. And then once the confidence got going, they won in every position. Took Miller, he tried his backside off in that last term, and as Ethan said, he got a lot of stats. He ran Caldwell into the ground, so that's a big tip for him. He's got a big heart, but they need more of them. And I think Will brought up the fact that they need not 1 but 2 or 3 more talls in the side to compete against an Essendon side like that.
We'll head down the boundary, courtesy of Fox Footy. Here's Sam Draper.
Next to Eddie Betts, 4-time Goal of the Year winner, and he is adamant you've just scored Goal of the Year today.
Oh, really? Oh, well. Oh, if Eddie's saying that, that's unreal. Thanks, Ed.
Talk us through it. It was obviously an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it was. I just got going, and then I was praying that Guelph would give me the 1-2, and then, just freestyled the rest.
When you go home, you're going to have to watch the replay and the reaction from the coach and the boys on the bench. They couldn't believe it. What do you think was going through their mind?
Yeah, they don't know with me. Something you don't. No, I don't even know. I'm just there, just doing whatever. So, yeah.
An incredible performance by the boys. You've now won 4 of your last 5. What's working now that wasn't working at the start of the year?
I think we really just simpled it down and focused a lot on our contest. And I'm just really proud of the way we performed over the last month, especially because that's how we know we can play. We're just disappointed we didn't get to do it in the first half, but hoping we can finish strong and knock off a few more teams that are fighting for the 8. So.
Is it a bit frustrating that you're doing it now and you weren't able to do it at the start of the year?
Yeah, it is a bit, but I've got so much belief in this group and where we can go, and we're a real young group, and I hope we can just keep building, and next year even better. So, yeah.
The ball movement tonight was awesome. How important is that run from Mason Redman and also Nick Hines off half-back?
Yeah, it does really kickstart us. It suits how we play. We've got a lot of fast players that can go inside and outside, so really happy with how they went.
Big game next week. Collingwood at the MCG doesn't get much bigger for the Bombers than that. The focus and the goals now, knowing you can't make finals, what will motivate this team?
Like I said, knowing how we can play, like at the start of the year we didn't get there, but just knocking off teams that are in the 8 and just ruin their season, that's how we can do it,
Well, we loved watching today. You're going to love watching the replay of the goal. It looked even better on TV than I'm sure it felt. Enjoy.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
That's big Sammy Draper, courtesy of He's not a brain surgeon, is he? Big great.
I just want to knock off sides and ruin this.
we used to have that attitude at the Saints when we were down the bottom of the ladder.
Just talk us through that goal one more time. People might just be joining us on the way home in the car or whatnot. Just talk us through that goal. It was obviously at the centre clearance. He roved his own tap, and it was all towards goal from there.
Yeah. I want to hear our call again because it exploded in the box here. It was unreal. But the fact that he tried to do it a second time, didn't he? He definitely tried to do it. But as he said, he got a steam up and he balked one, then he got around another and thought the cheeky 1-2s. I love that. And then
the final sidestep and the check side Boonar.
And he wasn't going on his left, so I'm going the Boonar, and away we went.
This is the Triple M Amy Review. Submit your fan clanger story to amy.com.au/fansurance and you could win. We might head back downstairs again thanks to Fox Footy.
It's been great that our training standards and what we've been trying to train all year is starting to come out. Just a bit of a delayed effect. It wasn't coming out earlier in the year, and that was really challenging for us. So really proud of the guys, the way they're sticking at it, and starting to come out in these later rounds.
And your own form, you obviously turned that around. You're having a super second half of the season. You had 29 today. Unbelievable.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Just like I said, probably in line with the team. Good training standards and just sort of trying to stick to my strengths. And fortunately, I'm getting on the end of a bit and contributing well.
I'll tell you what, I was sitting on the bench and I want to watch Big Drape coming out of the middle, give the half pass over the top, palm someone off to kick that goal, mate. That was a super goal. What do you reckon about it?
Yeah, you don't see many ruckmen doing that. I spent most of my career with Shane Mumford, and I don't see him doing anything like that. So Sammy's an impressive athlete, and it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, we were debating about it upstairs too, because you had the ball coming inside 50 at least 3 or 4 times, and you didn't kick the goal. You looked to pass it up. You could have went for a goal, mate. You got to make some highlights and finish those goals.
Yeah, I know. I'm butchering it at the moment. Pete and I have been working on our forward 50 connection, so I reckon I'll be up for some feedback during the week.
Good luck, mate, and good luck for next week too against Collingwood.
Appreciate it, Eddie. Thanks, mate.
Good stuff there by Eddie Betts down on the boundary for Fox Footy, interviewing Dylan Shield. He was under pressure a couple of weeks ago, Dylan Shield. He's come out, he's worked hard on his game, and he said he's still got some growth there. He's humble, and he knows but he's building in the right direction, isn't he, Robbo?
He is, absolutely. And I feel for the coach as well, Ben Rutten. He's had his hands in his pockets. This win, it's like a pressure release for him. And a win's a win, but you've got to get a few of them. The mob gets restless. And as I forget who it was, Draper was, during his interview saying, we just want to wreck a few seasons for a few sides in their run to the finals. So, it's good for Rutten to actually get a win as well.
Speaking of teams that they could ruin the seasons of, they've got Collingwood at the MCG next week, Brucey. That's a blockbuster.
Oh, it's a huge game. Yeah, Collingwood just keeps scraping over the line, don't they? What have they won? 8 in a row, and a few of them have been under a goal, and I'm sure all the Dogs fans out there would love the Pies to lose.
We'll just head downstairs for SKG Radiology, now bulk billing on all Medicare rebatable services. Just the injury report wrap-up from you, Nat.
Back in the boundary today for both sides, really. Essendon's only concern is Ben Hobbs, who suffered a bit of a shoulder injury in the first quarter, had to go down into the rooms for a couple of jabs throughout the matches. No doubt that he'll go for scans during the week to assess exactly how bad the damage is there. As far as the Suns go, pretty clean bill of health. Levi Casbolt has had a blood nose in that last term, but that cleared up pretty quickly, and no doubt he'll be uncomfortable for a couple of days, but overall won't miss any footy.
Thanks, Nat. Love your work this afternoon. As Big Drapes, look at him down on the boundary. He's just giving the lap of honour. They're all waiting to go down the race, and Drapes is giving high fives around the boundary. He's soaking up the moment.
It's got to him. Seriously, he's getting ahead of himself.
They're going to cheer him off, I think.
I tell you what, Sarah Jones told him he kicked goal of the year, and he's just gone and high-fived everyone on the boundary. He's just milking every minute of it here.
It's now a bit of a TikTok trend where you throw your phone in front of the person that's running past and they pick it up and film it.
They were doing that on Friday night down the other end. They go, I've dropped my phone on the phone. And then you film it up and your face is on it.
Yeah, Drapes just had about 4 phones chucked in front of him and he ran past them.
I'm going to start running off with them next week.
Don't forget, if you're swinging home, go past McDonald's, 100% Aussie Angus beef and chunky tomato relish. Catch a mighty Angus at Macca's today. Had one of those a couple of days ago, boys. Oh boy. Went down real well. Had indigestion for about 2 weeks afterwards. It was great. So the boys are going down the race here. Essendon just getting into positions. We'll get the song as they're getting high fives. It's been a big month here for the Essendon Footy Club. They've won 4 of their last 5, beating the Swans, the Saints, the Lions. And now they've got it over the Suns, who had everything to play for here this afternoon.
Let down, really.
And Essendon are just building nicely, and they're going to finish the back end of the year in style as we head downstairs to catch the famous song.
Geez, I'll look at the videotape Collingwood next week. If they play like this,
Sung with some gusto downstairs there, boys. They enjoyed that one. They're playing some stellar footy at the moment.
No, why not? And they're going to wreck a few seasons if they play like that, seriously, because the Suns had everything. They had to show that they had to win today to keep it alive, the belief to get into the finals. I think we tried to work out they need 5 out of the next 6. It didn't happen today. Bombers were too good. They were too tall and too good.
Well, my heads get some of the Reds there lending stats, all the stats that matter. Reith, just walk us through that game, who the major ball winners, some of the big stats that caught your eye.
Well, it was all Essendon in transition again. Kicked 8 goals from their defensive half, 4 goals from their defensive 50. Been number 1 in the comp for that over the last 4 weeks and did it again today. Went defensive 50, inside 50, 39% of the time, which is 15% above the AFL average. Gold Coast, on the other hand, 26% of their disposals were turnovers today. Essendon, 13%, so double Gold Coast way. Leading ball winners, Zach Merritt, 36. Mason Redmond, career high, 34. McGrath and Shield, 29 apiece. For Gold Coast, Took Miller, valiant with 28 touches.
We'll head downstairs now. Nat Ioannidis, I understand you've got Harry Jones on hand.
I do. He's just putting on the headphones as we speak. One of the young guns of this Essendon lineup. Harry, congratulations on the win. It's 3 in a row now. This place is really up and about.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to build some momentum. I think we're just coming in each week and trying to build a connection, play together, and then it's working really well. And like I said, the momentum helps. It's good when we're up and about, so yeah.
Can't do an interview without asking you about that Scott Draper goal. What was going through your mind when he was running down towards goal?
Yeah. I saw him charging and I was like, I could be on here. I thought I was on for a handball, but then I think he fended off backman and then kicked it, and I was like, you're kidding. I had the best seat in the house, so it was nice. Then he took off and I was trying to chase him, couldn't catch him, but no, it was very nice from Drapes.
Harrison, is it a chance to go to his head a little bit? Is he that sort of bloke? Because he's just done a lap of honour at the end of. You're all waiting for him. Is he that sort of fella?
I don't think it's a chance. I think it's already there. I think the mullet started it, and now he's on fire. So, no, I think he thrives off that stuff and loves it. So, I'm very happy for him. When he's up and about, he's hard to stop.
Hey, Harrison, it's Josh Bruce here, mate. Congrats on the win, mate. Great game. I've noticed that as a second key forward today, you really got on the end of a few and working well with Peter Wright. Obviously, you had that missed a few weeks with injury there. How's the forward line working since you've been back in, and what have you noticed?
Yeah, it's been good. I think each week getting better with the connection with Pete down there. Played a couple of games last year, and then, like you said, I was out for the first half of this year. And it's just coming in, building that connection, sort of, I guess, trying to play well together and not jump in each other's way and block for each other. So, like you said there, it's sort of building, and it's getting really good. I'm really enjoying it. Pete's big presence up there, and he normally takes all the big boys, so it's nice for me.
Harry, Tim Solly here, mate. Something happened at the bye, did it? Because from round 12 onwards, you've gone 4 and 6, only losses there to the Blues and the Eagles over at Optus Stadium, which was only a small loss by 10 points. But the rest of the time, it seems like, was there a bit of soul-searching over that round bye break?
No, I think it's nice to get away and have a little break, especially with the start of the season. But no, I think we came back, and like I said before, we're just trying to build on connection and then play our way, I guess, and which we're really showing in the last couple of weeks. And like I said before, the momentum can really help, so it's been good. And
you deserve it, seriously, and enjoy it too, but you've got to look ahead to next week, and if you play like that, it doesn't matter where the Dons are or the Magpies, it's always up, and this is just going to bring more people to the MCG. It's going to be on again.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it. Always a good one against the Pies. It's always a tight one, so I think they're in some form as well, so it'll be a good one.
Make sure you beat them, please, mate. Thanks.
No worries.
Talk us through the headband, mate. You've just caught the fire of Aaron Norton, maybe. You just the hair's getting a little bit too long out there. Just needed something to pin it back.
Yeah, it was getting out of control, to be honest. I'm too scared to cut it. Last time I got to cut it was shocking. So
yeah, don't
no, go the mullet.
Keep it long.
Harrison, go the mullet.
Mullet's no good. The long hair's where it's at, mate.
Exactly.
Keep it going.
Pin it back and keep it out of the eyes.
That's it.
Scintillating footy by your mob today. Thanks, Harry. Appreciate your time, and good luck next week.
Sweet. Thanks for having me.
Harry Jones down there with Nat Ioannidis. Boys, they look like a different side with him in the team. I mean, it's tough to say that he's only in game 25 odd. He's only a new player to the team, but it creates more chemistry up forward, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly right. And it's clear. It just gives the midfielders more options to kick to. And when Peter Wright's down there on his own, he's probably attracting 2-3 defenders every single contest. And now that they've got an array of people to go to, that means the smalls can get off the chain. The defenders can't just swallow up on one person. And yeah, he's going to be a player for the future. I really like him in this side, and I'm going to enjoy watching him over the next 5-10 years.
And it allows him the package to do his stuff.
That's
you've
right.
got
exactly.
2 metre Peter, and you got Draper going down, you got Jones a third, and then the package, Stringer just runs around, does what he likes in the end.
And that's the thing, he hasn't got a key matchup on him, because when you play a key on Jake, he can struggle to be involved in the game, whereas he's just kind of running around and doing his thing. So it's starting to look like a really dynamic forward line, and it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, where's this been? Where's it been?
I was just about to say, you write all the players down, you put them on the whiteboard, and they're sitting at the bottom of the ladder.
Well, it's funny you say that about Jones, because he kicked 20 goals in 16 games last year in his debut season, and then he didn't play until 6 weeks ago. So he's played the last 6 games in that stretch. They've won 4 of their last 5. So maybe it's no surprise that they've started to string a bit of form together with him in the forward line.
Spot on, Willie. Heath, might just grab you again quickly. People driving home in their cars. We'll just give a bit of a wrap of the whole round, if you will. The game's earlier today, and we might even go back to Friday night just for our man Brucey here.
Yeah, we may as well start from the start and keep Josh happy. Dogs by 28 points. Give Tim Solly a bit of a finger there. 28 points the margin there. In ninth spot at the moment, the Western Bulldogs. Collingwood, 8 wins in a row, 5 points the margin over Adelaide. Brisbane by 40 over the Giants. North Melbourne, how about that result? Breaking a 14-game losing streak. 4 points the margin over Richmond. Geelong by 30 over Carlton. Sydney upsetting Fremantle, 17 points. And then earlier today, Hawthorn, 25 points the margin over West Coast, and Melbourne, 14 points over Port Adelaide. So, bit of shaking in the ladder. Now 3 teams, 9 and 8 between 8th and 10th. Richmond, Western Bulldogs, and St Kilda. Big finish to the season coming up. Essendon up to 14th spot as well from 16th.
Okay. Spot on. Good stuff from you today, Heath. We might go to you now, Bruce. You don't get to do this often, mate, so enjoy this moment. The Triple MVP Award for homeloans.com.au, the best and fairest when it comes to home loans. How'd you see the votes today?
Yeah, it was tight at the top. I've settled on Red Dog Redmond with the 3 votes.
He's gone 3 straight up. You meant to work the other way, mate. You go 1, you build it up. That's all right. We'll go 3 votes.
Don't they do it the other way in the Brownlow?
I don't know, boys. We do it differently up here at Triple M.
Okay, sorry, mate. Yeah, first time doing the votes. So I'm going 3 to start with. So 3 to the big Red Dog.
Big Red Dog.
I thought he was brilliant today. He had obviously the 34 touches off a halfback. It wasn't just the offensive stuff; it was the defensive work as well. But then he came through with 2 goal assists and 9 score involvements, on top of 6 rebound 50. So well done to him. The 2 goes to Zach Merritt. 36 touches, and the thing I loved about his game, and you know, some of the Essendon midfielders have copped a little bit of flack about getting easy ball out the back or in defensive. I really liked his forward game today. He brought the Bombers forward, he brought them inside, and what did he have, 14 score involvements or something like that?
Yeah, career high 14 score involvements.
Which is a sensational game for him. And the other one, you know, I gave 1 to Took Miller because he was tagged all day on Jai Caldwell. Fought through it, had 28 touches, 15 contested, and 9 clearances in a team that not many other contributors were there. And I think it was a gallant effort from Took, and apologies for doing it in reverse.
No, you're your own man, Brucey. You do it your own way. Don't apologise for that. You've got your own style, and you do it. And we're watching the Draper goal here again, enjoying that.
I can't get enough of that.
Yeah, we just keep playing the replay here. Why not? It probably will go down as one of the goals of the season, Drapes, and the. Enjoyed every moment of it. And when he got told it was goal of the year, he did the lap of honour, as Robbo said.
He was frothing when he heard that, wasn't he?
And you feel like he'll do it again, too.
He wanted to do it again.
Oh,
some lunatic big blokes just pulled off goal of the year.
So
crazy.
Super stuff, Brucey, on the Triple MVP Awards for homeloans.com.au, homeloans.com.au, the best and fairest when it comes to home loans. Well, it's been a super afternoon here. Essendon 2 strong in the end. They led by 3 at quarter time. 30 at the major break, 46 at 3/4 time, and they end up victors here by 48 points. Brucey, superb call for you. Thanks for doing the votes, and great to see you in the box again.
Thanks, fellas.
And Robbo, superb as always, and you pull off the painted jeans. I love it.
I just want to hear that call again. Our call.
Can we play it?
Sure, it'll be up for week. I'm sure the digital boys will be onto that one. Heath, great stuff on the Red Sets as always.
Yeah, the old double voice, can't complain.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. A long day from you. You'll have stats running around your head all night in your dreams. Willie Ralston, superb stuff on the commentary this afternoon. Well done to you.
Thank you, Timmy. Any day in the box with you boys is a pleasure.
And the boys in the back are Rudy, Jared and Das. Thanks to you boys. It's convincing here by the Bombers. They get victory by 48 points here at Marvel Stadium to cap off round 18 of the AFL home and away season. Like my mother always told me, for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting trade.